Shout out to US ARC and all US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US ARC is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US ARC member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US ARC organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US ARC member. And if you can't become a US ARC member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US ARC is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US ARC member and US ARC supporter out there. Cheers.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 595, new breed on the block, Steel City Feeders. With me, Big E, Top G, Villarino Reptiles in the building. What's good, player?
What's up, man?
Dude, why gotta be rocking them goddamn sleeves up like that? What are you trying to do to me? What do you mean? Should I do mine or not? I mean, fuck.
Something different, dog.
Something different. Emilio, what is good, dog? How you living, bro?
Good, man. Everything's good. We haven't had a show in about 3 weeks. Living it up.
We haven't had a show. Oh, reptile show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, okay. Yeah. So you're kind of soaking it in right now. You haven't. I could have sworn you did one not too long ago. So it's been 3 weeks since you've done a reptile show.
Yeah, feels good.
When's the next one?
What'd you say?
When's the next one?
Reptilian Nation. Next February 15th and 16th.
Nice. And what's the kind of what kind of spread are you looking to bring at a show like that? Like, do you have a lot at this point, or right now are you still grazing up those babies? Like, where are you at with like what you're gonna have?
Yeah, still got stuff I'm getting ready. I'm probably gonna bring 3 cases to this one. Maybe next time at Pomona, I want to try to bring 3 instead of 2.
Oh, okay.
I would have done a lot better. Yeah, I think.
Well, if you had more.
If I would have had more, I would have done better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The thing is, bro, we had a lot of people come by our table. You know what I mean? And it kind of makes sense. Like when you see Josh, Jackie, and like Bob and other people who take the amount of ball pythons they take, bro. It's because you think, when you got eyes to look at a lot of stuff. I think a lot of stuff would sell that you wouldn't know that would sell. When you have that much.
Definitely, yeah. You have to have a little bit more, I'd say. Yeah. Especially with that people at the show,
Hey, listen, shout out to everyone in the chats, man. A little new time that we're rolling with. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I think it might be easier for me and Emilio life-wise, but I appreciate everyone tapping in. All right. If this is your first time hanging out, make sure you get the likes up and hit the subscribe button and drop a comment in the comment section what you like out of each new breed on the block. Let me know about what's tonight's guest. Listen, first and foremost, I heard Woody hit not too long ago after Justin hit it, the Exantic DG Clown. But super,
So
go ahead. What?
He's got some amazing Exantic stuff.
No. What were you gonna say? You're gonna try to hate on what I just said. I know you had to say he has pastel, huh?
I mean, no, I'm not hating on it.
Wait, last time I checked, pastel helps that project.
I'm not hating on it.
What I heard. I know, but you didn't want to say it. You see, I caught you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you hate pastel still. I really do.
I like IDing projects. That people. I like IDing what people hit because what's crazy that people post stuff and now they deliberately leave saturated morphs out of their post. Like they'll leave pastel out, they'll leave Enchi out, like on purpose.
Well, maybe it doesn't look good. I don't know.
I'm not saying it looks good or bad. What I'm saying is, if you post an animal and you say, okay, it's hypo.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're leaving out
You're
the other.
leaving out the other gene on purpose.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So I see why you did that. Then I wasn't doing that on purpose. I was
okay. No, I'm not saying you did, but a lot of people are doing that shit
I
right
see
now,
what
bro.
you're saying. Yeah, you know what?
We be clowning. Hey, I want y'all to know out there, we be clowning you.
I mean, you ought as well just say what's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, we be clowning you. Okay.
But here's the thing: does it look sick? Like, are these animals that we're talking about? Do they look pretty good?
They're very nice.
So then, I don't understand why people won't just say what's in it. You're doing those genes a disservice by not being honest what's in it. Like, not that they're being dishonest, but they're leaving out information. And I definitely think if you have anything multi-recessive or anything that is worth IDing correctly, you should do it. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And then you say to yourself, oh, maybe the dude's wife posted it. Maybe it wasn't him.
I hate it when people blame the spouse or something. Like, bro, that's such a cheesy move. Oh, it must have been my wife. Motherfucker, shut up. It wasn't your wife. So shut the hell up. You're not fooling nobody. Stop it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Listen, I don't want to keep going because I want to get this guy Matt on, but I want you to tell me a little bit about Matt, what you know, because you alley-oop this, and I want to give credit when credit's due. But give us a little bit. What's up? What's up with Steele City? What do you got to tell us?
Well, we got a buddy in the V unit. His name is Scott. I've been trying to get Matt on for a while, and finally we got him on. He's got some amazing Exantic stuff. Scott kind of helped him, get on with us, and I got to know Matt a little better through messaging now the last couple weeks. Matt's a great guy. He's got some history in the game. Has some amazing projects and breeds a lot of rodents as well. This is going to be a great conversation. He's really good friends with Bob as well. He'll be at the show over there. You guys can meet. It's going to be great.
Sick.
He's going to be vending. I think the Southeast Reptile Expo.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that is Bob Vu's new show, the Southeast Reptile Expo, happening February 15th and 16th, right around the corner. I'm going to be there, and according to Big E, Steel City will be there, and many other top-tier vendors. I'm excited to go to a show where the list of people that I know vending, top tier. It's going to be great. So listen, if you're going to be in the area, or if you have, the time to book this, I would do it. Southeast Reptile Expo happening February 15th and 16th, Atlanta, Georgia, thrown by Bob Vu and his crew. So thank you so much, Bob Vu. Cannot wait to pull up and see what this is all about. Also, shout out to the Rice family, Rice Reptiles. Head over to their Instagram and also check out their YouTube channel. They've been killing it with the vlogs lately and putting out a lot of good content, displaying a lot of their clutches that they're hatching out. And, honestly, the Rice family they have some top tier projects, something you don't want to sleep on. Head over to Rice Reptiles again on YouTube and go to their Instagram, and you can check out their website, ricereptiles.net. Thank you so much, Rice family. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Prague's MORPH, one of my favorite breeders in Europe. I got to say, they are doing big things over there in Prague. So thank you so much, Teresa and Devin from Prague MORPHs. Head over to their Instagram account and make sure you give them a follow. Check out what projects they have. You can also check out them on YouTube. They did an awesome interview with Rolf, the guy who has, I believe, the Cosmo project, which he's helping me get that dude on the show soon, pretty shortly, I think. Yeah. All right. Anyways, thank you, Devin, so much. And Teresa from Prague MORPHs, head over to their website, like I said, see what they have available, and be ready for that next episode. They'll be coming back to the trap soon. Last but not least, shout out to the homie Blake over at Blake Exotic Feeders, #1 quail in the game. Get this quail shipped to your doorstep, anywhere from button quail all the way to double XL quail. And all homegrown, no third party. This is straight from the source. This is the guy right here, man. This is the quail guy. #1 quail in the game, all right? Only feed your animals that #1 prey item. And I know, Emilio, what do you guys see about Blake Exotic Feeders? Because I know you're a fellow customer.
Bro, the quail is amazing. Top notch. Doesn't get any better than that. I speaking of that, I gotta go get some older quail now. Going, very soon.
Oh, needs to go down.
I need it for my Drymarchons.
Hey, are those growing pretty quickly or what?
Oh my god. Yes.
All right. Tight. Very tight, because it's about to go down. Listen, it is that time. Do what you gotta do to get your mind right. Do what you gotta do to stay hydrated. We got the big dog Matt from Steel City Feeders coming at you right now for episode 595. Let's go. Choo!
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man,
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the drop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
and we're live, episode 595 with Matt, Steel City Feeders. What is up, Matt?
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, bro?
Not gonna
Not
lie,
too
bro.
much.
That
Nice to
beard,
meet you.
that beard is very, very thick and professional. I will say that looks like. I think Dave has a run for his money with your beard. I'm not gonna lie. I think we need a beard off with these two. I think.
He's got a pretty epic beard too, though.
Yeah, but even yours, man. Listen, I don't want to keep giving your beard all this love, but I think it deserves it. That's a really good looking beard.
I appreciate it. It was born out of laziness initially, but I really thought it grew on me.
Hey, listen, welcome to the Trap, man. I'm excited to have you here. So much to learn about you because from what I know, you're under the radar, and I don't know, maybe you could clarify that. Also want to know where the name Feeders comes from. And so, let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about where you came in and when you basically branded yourself.
Yeah. So I started. I mean, I had snakes, ball pythons, berms, stuff like that whenever I was younger. But I started in probably 2007 or 8 with breeding.
Nice.
So back then, spiders were cool. So that was my first male that I bought. Was a spider.
Damn, what a snake to buy.
I mean, that was it. That was it.
I know there was a time where spiders were super hot, but it's like, damn.
Me and Matt were talking about this through messaging. Yo, bumblebee and killer bee stuff was fucking nuts.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
to this day, those were the first morphs that brought me into everything. And I'll never forget, killer bee, amazing snake for sure.
And say this, and me and Matt, I was talking to Matt about this. I could put out a bumblebee on the table at any show, and it'll be the first snake to sell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's so unfortunate. Because what if there was no wobble, like no such thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like we would see some crazy stuff. But I want to know exactly, what other than spider? Like you got in it with spider, but what was the next gene? I guess you could say you really built your foundation off of.
Yeah. So I got some pastel. Obviously, back then that was a hot gene.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yep. I got 2008. I bought a female lesser. That was, I think, 2 generations off the original from Ralph. And then I had to raise that up. That was a female. I relied on a lot of normal females back in the day. I think a lot of us back then, the name of the game was, you put as much money as you can into the best male you can possibly get. And then you basically try to, reproduce that.
Well, because how rare, because this stuff was so rare back then, right, Matt? So it was kind of like that was the name of the game, is get your hands on it first, right?
Yeah, I mean, you spend as much as you can on that male, and then you have all these females lined up ready to go, and that was kind of how everybody did it back then, for the most part.
Let me say this, bro. So far, Matt, what you bought is exactly what I bought to start too.
Yeah,
bro. In 2000, I would say 2007, mid 2007, I paid $1,800 for a lesser male.
Yep.
What did you pay?
I think it was 1,000 when I bought it in 08. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For
And when you break down that money into, you know, for inflation, that I think it was about 2,500 these days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, Matt, were you able to capitalize off each and one of these pillar genes that we're talking about? Like, were there something that you were?
Yeah, I did really well back then. I mean, I started out, I think I had, when I bought the first male was the spider, I think I had around 6 or 7 normal females back then. And I just made more spiders. I held back some females, sold my males, I sold all the normals. And then I used that money to buy a killer bee male. I think that was a couple $1,000s back then. And I bred that to pretty much everything I had. I had some pastel, I think I had 2 pastel females maybe. So I made some more killer bees, made a lot of bumblebees, a lot of pastels. And I mean, this is when bumblebees were $500, $600, $700. And you can sell them so easily. I mean, you put them on the table and they go, you know, and this was at local shows. I didn't do any large shows anywhere. I just did the local shows and I was selling them really, really well. And then I moved up once that lesser was ready. Then I started, working on queen bees, and then I saved a lot of those females. And I was doing blue-eyed Lucy complex stuff. I added Mojave.
Give us some history. Give us some history, quick, Matt, because I want to know, when did people start figuring out that the lesser and the Mojaves together made blue-eyed Lucy? Like, what year was that?
So, I don't know when it was first made. I think I first made it maybe around 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there maybe.
And you were shocked? You were like, what the fuck is this? Or did you like, well,
I knew they were out there. I wasn't nearly one of the first ones to make them. I just, yeah. I actually bought, let's see, this is probably 2012 or 13. I bought a Super Emperor, which back then that was pretty stacked up. I think that had to be probably $4,000 or $5,000 back then. And
what's a Super Emperor? I don't really remember what that was.
Super pastel pinstripe lesser.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it just so happened that animal actually was from the same clutch as Chad Hulker's original shrapnel male, and they were brothers, and mine had shrapnel in it as well, and I had no idea. So I ended up getting into the shrapnel project early, just by dumb luck, which is, I think that's how he got into it too. I think he just bought it for the Super Emperor, but, I was making some really wild looking stuff, and you couldn't really see it in that original male because it was so bright and clean. Like it was yellow. It was bright yellow, barely any pattern. But then the offspring from it, showed all this really busy, granity pattern. They reacted crazy with some of that blue-eyed Lucy complex stuff. And I ended up talking to him because the stuff he was posting online looked a lot like what I was producing. And then I guess we ended up figuring out that we got, the males from the same place. So it's pretty cool. I haven't really done anything crazy with that project yet. I've seen Corey's made.
Is shrapnel paint, is that the same gene?
No, it's dominant, codom.
What's shrapnel? Isn't shrapnel considered shrapnel, right? Am I saying this right?
Shrapnel, yeah.
Shrapnel. Is that considered another gene? Is that one of those things where it's like there's like 4 different names for it?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't think anybody's done any genetic testing with all of these granite type genes yet. It may turn out that a lot of the granite type genes are, the same thing. Some of them might be different. They might be compatible. They might be allelic. I don't know. I know, Bob's got the voodoo. Justin, I think he runs Pixel. I've seen Shredder. I've seen Carbon. There's probably a list of at least a dozen different genes they're all pretty similar.
And now there's Malice and Cosmos. Now that's the one everyone's comparing.
Well, Cosmos seems to be the strongest in its just heterozygous form, it seems like, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
didn't Bob Booth find something about his voodoo project that like turned out to be something? I don't want to say it was something else, but it was something where he was like, it wasn't what he thought. Am I tripping? Was it not his voodoo stuff? Or
I don't know. I don't know if it wasn't
Yeah.
what he thought. I know he's made a lot of really good stuff in the past year.
Oh no, never mind. No, it's McKenzie. That was McKenzie. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, they were thinking Mackenzie and Zebra were the same thing.
Yeah, that was going on pretty thick for like about a good year. And I was that was heavy. But I was happy for Zebra now. I'm happy for Zebra. Thank God.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I'm curious, man. It's so cool to have someone like you who's been a part of it, early 2000s, because we're talking about genes that, regardless where they're at today, those were genes that gave you the next step to the next level in this.
Yeah.
What was that recessive? Like, what was that first recessive that you fucking went in on?
I mean, most people were, breeding, albinos and pods back then. I didn't jump into the recessives right away because to me, I already had this army of females that didn't have any recessive genes in them. So, the barrier to entry on a recessive project was really high for me at that time. I would have had to have all females and males, compatible with that project. So I waited quite a while before I got into recessives. And I think a lot of people did back then for that same reason. But I mean, the first that I really jumped in and bought a bunch of animals for was clown. And that was probably back in maybe 2015 or so. Okay.
That's like not even too long. I got in 2017.
10 years. Yeah.
That's not that long ago at all.
Yeah. It hasn't been that long since I added recessives. I mean, 10 years is for a lot of people a long time, but some people not so much.
Matt, I got to ask you. So did you see it coming? Because here's the thing. I felt like it's smart when you have so much amazing, incomplete, dominant, making still cool stuff, putting it into each other. And obviously, I would say prior 2017, that's what was selling. Stacked ass fucking codoms. That was the number one thing. As much as you could put into it, Kevin McCurley style. You know what I mean? But then, did you see it coming though? The whole recessive wave and holy shit! Now I got to get on this. I got to throw recessives in the mix because now it's not about stacking. Did you see that coming?
Kind of. I mean, a lot of people were starting to work, 1-2 genes, into clown. And I saw, I think Enchi clowns really got me, going in that direction because I really liked reduced pattern. I really liked the clean sides. And Enchi clowns just kind of did it for me. So I started out, with Casey Lasik had really reduced pattern Enchi clown line. And I ended up buying a couple of males off of him, 2 or 3 females. And then I got some other groups of females off of a few other people. But I ended up getting quite a large number of animals in that project just so that I can kind of hit the ground running. And, I worked out really well. And pastel Enchi clowns, I know pastel, but, back then a pastel Enchi clown was super bright, clean, I mean, they still are, but yeah, they're really popular. So I did really well on those. And I ran with that for, 3 or 4 years. And I added the DG, right at the beginning of COVID. And that's kind of what really got me addicted to DG, it was the DG clown.
Damn. So you did DG before hypo or no hypo at all?
So when I got in, hypo was kind of frowned upon.
Oh no. Yeah, I know. I found it. I got some bell line pieds that are pretty old, and I found out I hatched some hypo shit out of them, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was so stoked. But back then, it was nobody was telling people that these were hypos. That's crazy to me.
It's how random hets you find. It's true. People didn't tell you that there was hypo in it because a lot of people didn't want hypo. They said, oh, it looks like it's always in shed, and it just. The color's always washed out,
It's crazy. It's crazy how this market just goes all over the place, bro. What you're saying is 100% correct. We brought this up before, bro. Everyone got rid of their hypo stuff, and now we're back.
Who knows? Though maybe there were some bad line of hypos that weren't that impressive, but because people kept working them, it turned out to where there's this good line. I don't know. Who knows? But to me, I have hypo shit that is aging like fucking fine wine. It's amazing to me. But I do know I was on this whole hypo everything tip, and I do know that hypo definitely has its areas where it's probably not better there, but which is a rare case though. Other than that, hypo does great in almost anything. I feel like, especially with DG. I feel like if you have DG in the mix, hypo complements DG so much, to the next level.
Each other.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, hypo and DG together is a great pair. And I actually didn't think I didn't think it was going to be that awesome until I made it. And I'm like, wow, I made, what's that?
To me, those are the prettiest animals out there. DG hypo stuff.
Yeah. And you got, and shout out to Bob, but things do or get really trendy in this hobby. And when a lot of people are pushing one thing, people just follow suit sometimes and don't even pay attention. So I think there was just probably a huge push on not fucking with hypo where people just listened to too many other people. But now look, I'm just saying hypo's a force to be reckoned with. You can't say hypo's not relevant as far as genetics that you need in the mix.
Yeah.
But so DG, okay, I got a question to ask you because it keeps popping out. You're one of those people in the position who had a bunch of amazing stuff that was hitting a point where, okay, now the value of this stuff's not going to be sitting where it's at, not even nearly. I got to add this recessive stuff. So how did you add clown? How did you add DG? Were you adding it like just getting adults and making hets, or were you getting, like, for instance, like the incomplete dominance within the visual recessive stuff that you needed? Like, I'm just curious how you added this stuff to your current collection at that time.
Yeah. So at that time, whenever I decided to go the DG clown route, I just figured I had a lot of clown stuff already. And a lot of that clown stuff had some codoms in it, obviously. So, I figured I needed to get a DG clown male. And at the time, there weren't a ton of them, available. So I reached out to Levance and ended up getting one off of him. And then my obvious, decision would be run it to all my clown stuff and then hold back, as many females as I could that had, the codoms I wanted. And then just run those back. But the other thing I did, actually, the first female that I ended up pairing that DG clown male to was I just had a pastel exanthic female that I got in a partial trade deal. And I hadn't really been working exanthic projects, but I thought, hey, this DG really brightens everything up. I wonder if it'll make like a really silvery looking clown, that doesn't brown out as much, Yeah. And so that was the first female I bred him to make the triple hets. And then I raised those up, but
so you went a DG clown shit. Like you didn't mess around. You got already double visual stuff at that point when you were
the male. Yeah. And then I picked up as many DG females as I could the same year.
That's smart.
I got some.
What year was this, Matt? I'm sorry.
19 or 20, maybe. It was like right at the beginning of COVID. So I had to be 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was 20. Yeah.
All right.
It was whenever, right before DG clowns shot up to 15K when they were still around 10.
Again, not that long ago. Not that long ago. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I got it a little just under 10, something like that. So, yeah, but then they ended up climbing up and then, coming back down after everybody had produced enough of them.
No, they came down aggressively. Like if they were trying to commit suicide, it was crazy. Now, how did that make you feel though? Like when you saw what you were seeing, especially when, you're kind of somebody who's been in the game as long as you have, and being, I guess, front of line matters because, you're a veteran, so,
yeah.
But I'm curious, how did you feel about that? And how did you adjust, or did you adjust? What did you do?
I mean, I've seen other stuff come down in price that I've invested in. And I mean, as long as you produce with it and you get, good holdbacks and, you have a project that's, that can work around all that. I mean, you're going to make your money. I mean, I got into bananas with a buddy. They were $25,000 for males whenever I got into that. And the only mistake I made was holding back too many of them because I could have made a lot of money that first year.
That's something to pay attention to, guys, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to hold everything back. I mean, I think that's the only thing I tend to do that sometimes I shouldn't do is I hold back a lot of what I'm producing just so I can, have more in the future, for projects that I'm going to work on. But yeah, I held back almost every banana and they were all female makers back then. So,
damn.
That was before we knew that, you can make a male maker banana. And then that's whenever that was, whenever that came out, then, many, many, many bananas all hit the market at the same time and price came crashing down. But I had mostly females. So the price held a little better on the females than the males, but they came down pretty hard too.
Yeah, man.
I held them back and I made a lot of nice stuff with them. I mean, I didn't lose money on the project despite, them going from 25K to 5K to 1K within 2 years, maybe.
Is that the project that probably lost its value the quickest because we were all producing males mainly?
Bananas.
I think so. I mean, because we were all producing females, and then once we started producing males, those males started producing males like crazy, and the market got flooded with male bananas, and there just wasn't, there's no way for the market to absorb that many because everybody was just cranking out tons and tons of them. So I mean, it started getting to the point where, I heard at Daytona they were just selling them in like 10 lots, and nobody was talking about how much they were going for, but they were going cheap, and then once everybody found out, price comes crashing down.
And then what? It started like at 75K, right?
I think it was around 75 or 100 in the very beginning. That's before I got in though. We got in.
Talking about what, 3 or 4 or 5 years, and that thing went probably to a G, $1,000.
Yep.
That shit's crazy.
Same with Pied, right? Same shit with Pied, no?
Pied took a lot longer, bro.
No, Pied took forever to come down.
Oh yeah.
Pied, even when I first got in, Pieds weren't that crazy expensive. And I mean,
when me and Matt got in, I think Pieds were still 12 grand, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something around there. Maybe even a little less.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy. I mean, people wanted them, but they nobody was spending crazy amounts of money on any ball pythons back then. I mean, over 10K, sure, but it wasn't like you didn't see $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 numbers getting thrown around back then.
Market was smaller.
Yeah, that definitely. Yep, and it was a much different market. It just the recessives didn't have enough respect. The name of the game was always that dominant stuff, so that you can make as many as you could. And, But I'm glad it changed. I mean, it's so much nicer with all these recessives now because you can take your time. You can plan out what you want to do years in advance and watch it kind of develop over several years.
Yeah, isn't it like starting all over, Matt? You would say because now these incomplete dominants that did one thing into each other looks now it's a whole nother ballgame with recessives being involved. I feel like
Yeah, because it's so much more complicated to get all the recessives in. It's like each time you add another recessive, you're almost starting over, even though you already have ingredients for it. It still takes a long time to work everything in, to get everything visual.
Yeah, and that on top of that, you have to ensure you have the right genes in the animals you're breeding. If not, you're kind of out of gas.
Yep, because if you rely on having one or two of something, I mean, it may or may not work out. Yeah.
So after you did your thing with DG Clown, what was the next recessive? You're like, all right, I need to have this coming in the mix now. Like, what was that next recessive project?
Well, the Xanthic for sure. I already had my triple hets from that first pairing. I put the DG Clown to. So I had my triple hets. I got those raised up. I think their eggs probably hatched before they were 2 years old.
What was the pairing?
Triple het to triple het.
Dude,
I literally produced my own. Yeah.
Bro,
yeah, no, I produced my own triple hets and I ran them together, man.
You're so better off, I feel like. Oh my God.
I held everything back though. I didn't sell a single triple het, male or female. I was like, I don't care. Even
how
if
many
I end up.
How many triple het girls did you have, Matt?
The first year I had 4, and then I ran the same pairing the second year and got 5 more.
Okay, so in total you kept 9?
Yeah, but I only had that first season where I hit the 2 triples.
Yeah.
That was off of 4 clutches. All 4 females went.
Okay, MJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but the OG hit. MJ, correct me if I'm wrong. The OG hit off of 1 clutch or 2 clutches.
I mean, he back-to-back years. So
yeah, he hit
off 1 clutch, off one triple hit to triple hit. That was it.
That's
Mark Bailey. Yeah, Mark Bailey. It was the same year you guys hit it. He hit it.
Yeah, I saw. It was like a few months after I hatched mine out. I think it was on your podcast. You guys were talking about it. Yeah, so he hit really, really close to me. I don't know what month his was, but yeah, I mean it was close because I hit mine in June, and I had two clutches that were only like 2 or 3 days apart. And the first clutch, I believe, was just the regular triple. And then I'm like, this is amazing. I can't possibly, feel any better than this, And then I cut the next clutch and there's a pastel triple in there. And I'm like, all right, this looks way better than I expected it to because, some of the pastel, DG Xanthics that I had seen had been a little bit yellowy. And this one wasn't yellow at all. It was white. I mean,
Is this it?
Yeah, they are next to each other right there.
Dude,
yep.
Those are fucking fire.
So fucking sick.
I love those those animals, bro. I love them.
I
Congratulations.
still can't decide which one I like better visually. You know, as far as a breeder.
For me, right one all day because I love bold. Like I like the busyness, that's cool. But like that right there on the right, bro, like holy that's the best looking DG Exantic clown I've ever seen.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love the blacks and the whites.
The
on the
black
right too.
is so sick.
That's
Would you take 50K for that snake?
Right now, no. Actually, I had somebody offer me 50K for that snake at Tinley.
Hard pass.
Hey,
I did.
Girl.
They're both boys.
I wouldn't sell 50K.
What happened was I actually had somebody offer me 50K at Tinley for the non-pastel. And I'm like, look, I have all these animals that I'm trying to do this project with. I need a breeding DG Exanthic clown male. And I didn't want to sell either one because I wanted to make sure that the one I wanted to hold back was going to breed. So I just didn't want to take a chance by selling one of them. So what I did was I just, raised them up and started pairing them, and they both started breeding. And around the time, like right whenever they both started breeding, I didn't even have a chance to try to sell it or anything. I still wasn't sure if I wanted to sell it because I could get twice as many clutches if I didn't sell it.
No,
but
right.
Somebody
is this dude already breeding for you?
What's that?
Is this dude already breeding for you? That's not.
Oh yeah, I had him breeding it like I don't know 6, 7 months, 8 months. I don't know, something like that.
That's him.
Oof.
Yeah.
Thing is so good.
Yeah.
Man,
This one is so hard. I love it. This is so
go.
gangster.
I'm gonna go far, dog, and tell you that is my favorite combo ever made.
Oh my god,
it's my favorite as well. I mean, it's top of the list.
Hey, Matt, and we've been doing this a long time, bro. I don't think there's anything that is close to that shit. That is perfection to me.
That is fucking.
I think the only way to get better than that is to add more codoms to it to improve the color and pattern.
Yes,
that's the only way you can improve.
Yeah. And maybe because there are combos that you might not even be able to make better. So we'll see.
Hold on, bro.
We'll see. I'm working on it. I hope I can make better.
Let's get to the whole fucking feeding thing right now, bro. Okay. First and foremost, let's see. Feeder, where did that come from? Why did you name yourself Feeder?
So I couldn't think of a good reptile business name initially. And I had been selling a lot of, I was selling feeder rodents. I was selling dubias.
Nice.
So I figured, I'm selling a lot of feeders. So for now, I'll just make, Steel City feeders. And then later on, whenever I think of a better reptile related business name, I can always just, start that one up as a separate LLC. And then just, go under that name. And then here I am. I'm still Steel City Feeders. Never thought of a better name. If anybody has any ideas, I'm always open to it, but I don't even know if it's a good idea to change it at this point.
I want to say maybe Steel Feeder Gains. I don't know, bro. The way you were able to get that fucking snake already breeding, bro, there's something going on with the way what you're feeding your snakes. I think that's awesome. But also that's like an OG hack too, is like, some of you guys who've been in this game know how to get your fucking males quickly up to size. Me, at best, it takes me like 10 months. I feel like it takes me a long time, only because I just do what I do, but there are regiments, there are ways. And I want to know maybe if you want to share that with us. Who's blowing you up? Is that Levance? I'm curious who's blowing you up right now. Is that you, Matt? Can you mute that?
Noise?
Yeah, it is. Is there any way of like muting that? I feel like it's a snake person hitting you up. This always happens.
Yeah, a lot of people messaging me. I don't know how to turn that off.
Wow, dude, stop messaging. If you're watching this and you're messaging this guy, bro, if you're one of those, you still stop doing that. This hat, bro. Haters, bro. Yeah, just mute that shit if you can, because they're gonna keep doing it.
They sure are.
Give me names too. Let me know who these people are afterwards.
Oh boy,
I want to know who these are. I'm curious. Because I guarantee
close the app and it's still
I guarantee it's somebody watching this shit. All right,
bro, what the fuck?
That's wild.
All right, let me see if I can leave. It's a group. I gotta leave it or something.
Just mute it.
Hey, you just lost this dude. Congratulations. Get out of there.
All right, let's see.
It stopped. Thank God.
Let's see if this works. I just left some groups. I'm gonna have to join back later.
You've been added to a new group. Anyways, what were you talking about? What were we talking
All
about?
right,
Before?
that should do it.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it because that shit was getting out of control.
Sorry about that.
What were we just talking? I'm sorry. I have no idea. What
We were talking about feeding, I think.
Yes. Okay, yes. So as
Young
far as,
males. Feeding young males.
Yeah, or just in general, you know what I mean? Because obviously, you want your females to get to size too. So I want to know exactly how you're feeding your babies. What's your schedule?
Yeah, so I will say every snake is different. You can't do the same thing with every snake. There's no like recipe that works perfectly to optimize it for everything. But the longer you do it, you kind of just can look at a snake and say it can have a little bit more food or it can have a little bit more food. The way I always do it is I don't like to use rats whenever I'm trying to get something up to size as fast as possible. I think that makes a fatter snake and it just doesn't typically breed as well. If you're feeding rats and you're growing it up over, if you're growing a male up over a year on rats, it's not a big deal. But like, if you're really trying to, get him growing, I think he needs, more protein, the bones, everything, but not the fat. Mm-hmm. So I usually try to use mice for that. Because you're not,
so bigger mice you're using, or what are you using as far as I
tend to go on the smaller side because then I can feed them more frequently and it's not as hard on their system. If you're trying to feed huge meals, you're going to have issues with that.
Because that's the thing, Matt. I was looking, like, I always heard about the more frequent meals, but I'm looking at what I feed my snakes, and I'm like, dude, I can't feed you again in 3 days or 5 days. Like, you're still fucking big, dude. Like, you haven't even taken your shit yet. So that's why I just do my once a week. It's easier for me, but it does make sense. These motherfuckers are not feeding rats.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot more work to do it that way.
You can't. I'm sure you're gonna have regurgitations or something. Like I know ball pythons can handle a lot, but there is a breaking point. I feel like I don't know.
If it's a small lean meal, they're not regurging.
Nope. Right. You're not gonna get regurges. It's just like, with people, like if you talk to a dietitian, they're going to tell you, it's healthier to eat smaller meals more frequently than it is to just, gorge yourself, at a buffet, twice a day or 3 times a day or something. I mean, it's easier on their system because, you're not crushing them with this huge mass that they have to break down, and process. You're just giving them, you're spacing it out. You're giving them just a little bit here, digest that. And then, a little bit of time goes by, you give them another one, they digest that. But there's always something, in their stomach working its way through. And that's my strategy. And I mean, I think it works really well for me. I mean, it might not be for everybody though, because you have to spend more time with your snakes. I mean, it's not like you can just go in there once a week and throw, a meal in,
Yeah. If you have a schedule, it messes with me when I have to feed an animal twice a week. I'm with MJ. It's kind of a real pain in the butt to remember when you have 250 animals, 300 animals, to remember, okay, I got to feed these 10 an extra meal. That shit's a fucking pain, bro.
Well, my biggest thing, guys, is I don't breed my own rodents. And I'm already at that point where I'm probably going to want to start breeding my own rodents because there are just sometimes you got to be able to have stuff on deck ready to go, first and foremost at all times, no matter what it is. But I do feel like, if I had rodents that I were breeding, and I had the right size that I could do this more frequent feeding on, I would do it. But the thing is, I get all my stuff once a week and it gets all dropped off, and it's just been that way. But also too, like I'm a very structured, scheduled individual. So adding like a whole nother feeding schedule in that week for certain animals, which hell, I'm already kind of doing that with my baby chondros now. So I guess, I don't know, but I think it would just change everything. First and foremost, we just know that it's a whole game changer when you breed your own rodents. Yeah. And I got away with it a long time. It's been, how many years has it been since I breed my own rodents? I think 2020 or 2021 is when I got rid of my rodent production that I had. So it's been about like 4 years since I produced my own rodents. But I feel like it's something you just don't want to fuck with. Like, I love that I have what I have, but there's been times that they got hit with a heat wave not too long ago, and I went like 2 weeks or 3 weeks without getting rodents from them. So like that can happen at any moment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I keep reminding myself, like, as much as it's fucking a lot of work and something that is it's just as much as, if not more than the snakes, it's something necessary, bro. Like, you gotta, especially if you need shit to grow, because at the end of the day, bro, like let's think about how much an advantage it is for somebody to get something up to size and ready to breed within 6 months versus 12 months. that is literally half a year. Like that's,
Yeah.
and if you're good at that, holy shit, like that's, woof.
And it doesn't always work. Let me tell you right now. I mean, that's why I like to hold back more than one of a male that I need for a project if I'm able to, because
good point. Because
some
they
males
all
aren't
don't,
willing, you know.
they all don't take off like that. Like some of them aren't
Right.
as strong as others. That makes sense.
Some of them can eat the same feeding schedule and grow. They'll grow slower. They could literally have the exact same meals. One will grow faster than the other. Because I do this all the time. I'll hold back 2 males usually, you know, to try to start a project up or work on, you know, the next generation of a project. Yeah, sometimes they'll both eat great, never miss a meal, you know, same size meals, and one of them will make it, you know, a month or 2 earlier than the other. You know, and then you have males that, you know, they don't want to eat that often, and I'm not going to like force them to eat. You know, if they don't want to eat, they're not going to eat. But, you know, the ones that do want to eat, you know, I let them eat, but I don't keep feeding them if they look like they need a little bit of a pause. I mean, if they haven't, you know, if they're starting to get a lot of meals backed up in there, you know, you can tell by looking at them. You don't want to put another one in there. You know, you want to wait until they have time to pass that. But it's one of those things I can't really describe what it looks like. You just kind of, you know, you do it long enough, you can look at a snake and just know, you know.
I feel like if they shit like on schedule in a sense, like if they're shitting right, shedding right, it's, you just have some of these that are machines. Like they turn on, like they turn on and they just go. And then you have other ones that don't shit as often or don't, you know, whatever. Like there's levels to all these holdbacks for sure.
And
that's
then
why it's a numbers game too, you know.
Having the backup male is
very important. Dude, I learned that 2 years ago, bro.
Because you could do all the right things and that male could be growing amazingly, right? You could be a fucking beast with the food and then a bitch in the sack, right?
Your season could go to shit without backup males.
And then you get the one that doesn't eat a lot, that isn't really up to size, where he's a fucking beast, right?
Yep.
Bro, that blows your mind. These animals, you just have to figure out each one.
Right.
They're all different.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you figure that out by holding them back. You see them raise up. That's why, in a sense, Matt's style of holding a lot back is kind of, you know, you want the dimes. You want the ones that are like the fucking studs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't know you're giving away a stud. Sometimes, and you're like, holy shit! Like that guy's. I fucked up.
And you can't be afraid to breed a male at 500 grams here and there. Because
I'm glad you said that, bro. I got away with that not too long ago. I wasn't going to say anything, but I got away with it.
He might be a fucking animal and he might not stop eating.
No,
he might get you 3 clutches.
Yeah.
So you have to just gain experience and try things out, you know?
Okay, but let's talk about that real quick. I want your experience. Okay, I'm so glad Emilio brought this up because I had, was it last year? I had last year where my star male ended up rolling, and I was like, oh great, and I was pretty down about it. But then I had a good backup male that was like near half his size, but he was about 550, but he was over a year old, just wasn't a big dude, you know. And I threw him in there, and like he went to town, and dude, but he kept eating. He never went off food. Like everything was going in sync. Where I would pair him, pull him, he's eating, and it was like fuck yeah. So the thing is, like, he's good, you know, he's well over the 500 gram mark, but he's not that big. And I'm wondering, was that always going to be the case? Or if I would have waited on, you know, pairing him and getting him bigger with that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if pairing him at a young age stunted his growth. I don't know, but he kept eating the whole time. I don't know if that makes sense.
It'll slow him down. I don't know if it'll stop him from ever hitting a good size, but I mean, it'll slow him down initially. When they're breeding, they run a lot more
right now. He's one of my best breeders right now, still to this day. And he's doing, and he's just not like, you know, I have males that are like 900 grams, like some big boys, and he's just not a big boy, but he's a great breeder, you know.
Yeah. Some males stay small, in my experience.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but typically, Matt, you correct me if I'm wrong. You know what you've been through. Typically, they stay in the 1,000 gram range. The males, for me.
I never got. Yeah,
I like him in that. I like him around 1,200 personally.
That's where I want to get. That's where I want to get my males for extra protection.
Yeah,
just in case.
That's the thing. Like, because if you want to make sure you get a full season out of a male, I personally, and I know this may not be the normal strategy everybody uses here, but I like to wait until at least 800 grams before I ever pair a male, because I know. Even if he stops eating, I can at least, you know, breed him occasionally throughout the season. And I'm not going to get 10 clutches out of him, but at least I can finish what I started with a few, important females. But if I start a male at 500 or 600 grams, and he stops eating, it's a lot easier for him to lose weight rapidly than if you just wait and let him get, a nice, I call it a, healthier weight, larger size.
Yeah, or maybe not even losing weight, but gaining the weight it needs to gain. Like maybe it's like, versus, him working hard and then trying to eat, like versus just not working hard and getting more stacked and then going to work. But mind you, like, dude, this was a crucial moment in my breeding season. Like the star quarterback was fucking out, and I went to the pin, bro, and that's what I had.
When you're in a situation like that, you got to do what you got to do. If you have something that can pick up where the other one left off,
Like, mind you, okay, if I would have paired it and it wasn't eating, that would have been all done. I would have been like, well, this isn't happening. But I saw it locking, and then I saw it eating, and I made sure those two things were happening and didn't have any issues. And I feel like that's important.
Yeah, especially now with testing.
What's that?
Especially now with testing, if you have a backup male that isn't as powerful, it still could work for you.
It could. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have a male that stops eating, the first thing I do is write his weight down, and I just keep an eye on that. If he starts losing too much too fast, he's done. But it doesn't usually happen that often. Usually, even if they stop eating for a month or two, they pick it back up. And they usually don't lose that much weight that fast. So you just got to keep an eye on things.
Your big boys are eating what? Like your full-grown males? Are you feeding those rats, or are they on mice?
I still give the males mice.
So all your males are on mice.
Yeah, generally. It's pretty rare for me to feed a rat to. What's that?
Ex-breeder mice?
Yeah, because I have so many of them. You got to use them somewhere, right?
I'm gonna tell you, bro. Them things are like candy for these motherfuckers, bro.
They love them. They fucking love them. Yeah, they do great. Because like what I'll do is, you can pair the male up with a female. When he's done, put him back in his tub. Give him an hour or two or whatever to cool down, and then you throw a mouse in. Big ex-breeder mouse if he's a bigger male, or just a regular adult mouse if he's just a younger male. And they usually take it.
My mind's so shocked right now. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Bro, because first and foremost, like I'm tired of rats. Like if I could do less rats, my life would be so much easier, bro.
Yeah,
like,
MJ, I would. If I was you, I would do. MJ, I would do.
I'm going to mice.
Mice and ASFs, bro.
I can't. Yeah, Callie, I can't do that here, but I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Large albino mice. I know there's a strain of those around there somewhere.
They're called Kenya river rats or something like that. River mice.
I know somebody bred some that are like all pure white. They look like just real big mice.
Yeah, I need those.
Not telling anybody to do that. Do not break the law, but
no, don't break the law.
Yeah, but either one, they love them, bro. When I advocate,
oh my god,
Matt, let's talk about this. When I advocate for rats being better, it's just an easier animal to feed to get your females like wicked big, right?
Right.
And to go, yeah.
And after they drop a clutch, the first thing you should do is get them back on rats because you need to build that back up.
Yes.
And that's the fastest way to do it.
Now, would I breed rats? Absolutely not.
Gross.
Yeah.
I have ASFs and mice. That's it. And I buy rats.
That's wild.
So I recently started breeding ASFs. According to the guys in Canada, they're very docile and friendly. But according to anybody in my area, and myself included, they're very angry and hateful and want to kill you.
They're very nervous.
I apparently have a bad line.
Yeah, that happens. There are bad lines. I've kept and raised ASFs twice so far, and the first time, some mean motherfuckers. Second time, they're fucking. Dude, I could pick them all up. They like even the ones that would escape, like they were just like sitting there waiting for me to pick them up, and I was like, "Holy shit! Thank you for not like." You know what I mean? Like, and they ended up being really nice, and I don't know. I didn't have any really mean ones, but.
Yeah,
you know, I don't. I think it's just the lineage of them. I think I don't know.
I think some people put the work in, to try to tame them down.
Yeah, Matt. What I could tell you, Matt, is that back in the day, 15 years ago, when I got my first ones, they were all fucked up with tumors. They were fucking mean. Then I started breeding that stuff out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust them like I trust my mice. I can stick my hand. Look, I've been breeding mice at a pretty big scale for 2.5 years. Right. I've been bit twice. And both times it's because they just saw my thumb.
Okay.
All right. Now the ASFs.
I want to know where
they're
those
more
balloons
nervous.
came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're more nervous.
It's Emilio
They're
thing.
more
I don't get
nervous,
it.
right? So
Yeah.
they tend to jump out of the tub, commit suicide. They're nervous.
I've never had one jump out of the tub and die. That's a weird.
I mean,
what the
I don't have
fuck?
real thick tubs. I have ARS tubs. So
How do they
can
fall and
jump.
die? They think they can fall from good height. I feel like.
Well, but they fell from pretty high, bro.
Okay.
And then when they fall, my dog eats them. So, so guess
Well, that's one way to commit
what I'm
suicide.
saying is,
Oh, shit.
what I'm saying is, I don't stick my hand in those tubs with the ASFs like I do with the mice. I don't trust them. But
Yeah.
I haven't been bit bad or anything. I'm just more careful with them. That's all.
Yeah.
Much more nervous.
I've been using tongs to pick them up, and they just attack those things. I mean,
Well,
they're
I think that's probably one of your problems. I wouldn't use
I
tongs.
pick them by the
You're
tail.
squeezing the tail. You're squeezing the tail.
I get them by the tail.
Yeah, that's a negative automatically.
Yeah.
And usually, okay, and I know it's hard to afford to get rid of a big one, but if there is a mean one, I take care of it right then and there. Because usually, what I have seen is one in the group that I've raised up being a prick or like fucking with one, and then if there's a mean one in the group, I take them out right away usually. But it's always a male. I never get a mean female.
Yeah.
The only time I've got a mean female is when she's defending her babies, which is like only like a first time mother thing. I do know that with ASFs, maybe even with mice too, like there's like a learning stage of the moms where some of them get it, but then some like either murk their whole litter, or like, you know, and then Mark Bailey's one that told me like whenever you have a mom that murks the litter, even if it's his first litter, take her out because it's like something that carries on. And I had someone who said like, dude, she keeps killing them, and she had a couple good ones, and I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, she's gonna come back, and she ended up coming back and killing them one litter. So I don't know, like I think that whole like murderous ASF lineage is a serious thing, you know. If you see it, you gotta take care of it right away.
Hey, and Matt, straight up, I got a friend that breeds mainly ASFs, and he's been doing it for a couple years, bro. He plays with his in his hands.
Yeah, I had some nice ones like that, dude.
Bro.
Yeah,
Telling
I was
you,
talking to
right?
Juan
Hey.
over at Windy City, and he said he said his are like more
Yeah,
docile than mice.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the only
I got to get
problem
some
I
off
have
of him
with-
apparently.
Yeah,
The only problem I have with ASFs is that they grow fucking slow, and I ain't dealing with that shit. Okay,
Yeah,
they do
that's
lie.
simple.
The babies come quick, but I'm just saying they take forever to go like to the whole point of
That's
breeding.
it. That's my only complaint.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But, dude, I
You
love
don't have to top
watching
their food off as often either, though, so that's kind of nice.
And I also do enjoy what I'm feeding an ASF versus like a rat, even though, like, I don't know, it's been a long time, like I said, since I've raised any rats. But when I had ASFs, they were eating black sunflower seeds. Like I was giving them a hard boiled egg. Like I was mixing it up, and it was cool to see, like, okay, that's going into my snakes.
Yeah.
And versus fucking goddamn Missouri. And I found out Missouri's not even that good for your rats, man. I thought Missouri was like #1, but no, it's not. Like, it's not that great, I heard, and it's unfortunate.
I use
It's definitely not the
Kallenbach.
worst.
It's not the
use
worst.
Kallenbach.
It's not the worst, but it's not the best either.
Yeah, Kallenbach is really good, bro. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I've used Missouri. I've used the old recipe on the Kallenbach. I think they changed it like a couple years ago, but the old stuff was really like hard and brittle, and it had really high protein and really low fat in it, and it wasn't great for mice. But I heard they have a couple new formulas, so maybe it's better. But I don't know. I've had good results with Missouri in the past. I'm not using it currently though, but
yeah, I used to stand by it. I used to love Missouri. I used to be like, I was prideful because I would get Missouri feed, and I think for rats, that's like your best option. I really do. Like when it comes to rats, and I used to feed my alpacas Missouri. My alpacas love Missouri, man. That shit was sick. But then I also heard that there's that grain and certain stuff in the Missouri that's like, I'm not saying that leads to fucking emerald tree boa regurgitation, but I'm saying like there's a lot of things talking about like what you're actually feeding your rat, and then where that rat it's like actually doing to your snake that your snake's eating, you know. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Well, getting, for me, I use Kallenbach 23. I'm gonna try 18 now. It's a cheaper product. I tried, giving both the Missouri 6 and the Kallenbach 23 to the animals, and they preferred the Kallenbach 23, and it's cheaper, and I felt like it boosted my production.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, the foods are interesting because the mice tend to perform better as far as the breeders go. The females do a lot better with their litters whenever they're on a higher fat diet. So Missouri makes a 9% fat diet, which is not the commonly used Missouri diet. Normally everybody uses the 6%. The 9% does work a lot better for mice. The litters, tend to be healthier. They grow faster. Mom has no problem producing enough milk with that much fat. Rats, it doesn't seem to make a difference whether they have 6 or 9%, in my opinion. But if somebody's out there, and they want, to get better production out of mice, I would recommend looking for, it doesn't have to be Missouri, but looking at the fat percentage in the diet. The protein's what is going to help grow stuff, once it's weaned, as rapidly as possible. But that, for the moms, they like that higher fat.
So all the rodents you produce, Matt, is for your own collection, or do you provide to other, either friends nearby or couple clients or something like that? Or how's that
I have
work?
a handful of friends that buy off me. And then I have one guy that basically buys everything wholesale that I have after that. So it's a good relationship. I mean, I know I can, get a lot more out of what I'm producing if I do all the work to sell them, at retail. But I just, after I spend enough hours in the rodent building, all week, I don't have time to try to fill a bunch of small orders at retail. So having a good wholesale arrangement is really, really nice.
100%. Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to get to your high pattern dark genetic stuff here in a minute. But before we do that, guys, it's a commercial time. So we'll be right back with this message. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting edge, front of the line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, Don, over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game, then you know one of the biggest buzzes going around the hobby as far as reptile shows go is the new Southeast Reptile Expo being thrown by Bob Vu and his crew. Thank you so much, Bob, for being a part of this year's sponsor on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Very excited to collaborate with you. I'm excited to actually be heading over to Southeast Reptile Expo in February, and that's February 15th and 16th. You can catch me there, so stay by for more announcements on that. Head over to Southeast Reptile Expo on Instagram and check out Atlanta's #1 reptile show, the newest up-and-coming, most exciting show around in the reptile hobby, and who else better to throw it than Bob Vu. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Diversity when it comes to a reptile diet, I feel like, is so important. So this is why I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, Blake Exotic Feeders over in Florida.
What is up, everybody? Blake here, the owner of Blake's Exotic Feeders. We have all quail available at all times, produced here at my ranch from button day old, from Conturnic day old, all the way to extra large Conturnic quail. If you guys have any questions, DM on Instagram. Appreciate the support, you guys. Make sure you guys hit me up. We have all the quail, like I mentioned, and everything is shipped right here from my house.
If you want the #1 quail sent to your doorstep and, more importantly, fed to your reptile, no better company than to go to than Blake Exotic Feeders. #1 quality in quail, hands down, and I gotta tell you, my reptiles love it just as much. It'll give you a peace of mind to know that these quail are grown on his property and it's not bought third party. Head over to his website, Blake Exotic Animal Ranch, to place your order, or you could just hit him up directly on Instagram. Let him know that the Trap sent you and he'll take extra good care of you. Thank you so much, Blake, for supporting the Trap, and also thank you so much for sending me top quality homegrown quail for my animals.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are Prague MORPH. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work, and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. Gee! All right, back to business. Now, Matt, you know, I'm a dark guy, bro. Like, I like the dark stuff. Like, that's like GHI was the first morph that really like I sunk my teeth in, like breeding mind wise, right? But I heard through the grapevine that you're into the dark stuff too, and I want to tap in what those dark genetic projects are, and you know, let's take it from there.
Yeah, I have like a lot of different, dark genes. I'm trying to work as many darker genes as I can into the DG Xanthic stuff.
Wow.
You know, whether it's DG Xanthic Clown, yeah, both of them. Yeah, I have trying to work in GHI, Spot Nose, Black Pastel, Blackhead, Leopard, Acid, Confusion, which I don't know if there's really a difference there. That's up for debate, I guess. But
yeah, ask Emilio.
Yeah, everybody's got a different opinion on that one. I have mostly Acid right now, but I'm about to get a Confusion combo female soon. So I'm gonna have both.
Would you avoid putting them together, or are you going to put them together, like Acid Confusion?
I wouldn't have any pairings anytime soon that would put them together. So there's plenty of time for them to figure out the genetics on that before I would ever have an opportunity to cross them. So,
what is this, bro? Go ahead, Emilio.
They already said they're different, but to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah. The other thing is, have we figured out if there's a super in there? I know Leopard, they said there's a super, so I didn't know if there was. I don't know that it would look any different. I'm just curious to see if they ever.
I think we would have seen it by now.
Yeah.
You know.
And was it RGI that came out with that proof that there's a super leopard, or somebody showed a super leopard snake that?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was them. I don't know.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, it just doesn't look any different, but it'll just produce all leopards, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I didn't know if down the road, you know, we'd pop up with something like that for some of these other dominant genes that just don't look, maybe they don't look any different, but they, we find out later on that you can't actually have a super,
Yeah, there's people that swear there were super pinstripes, but does it fucking matter at the end of the day? That's how we're gonna think down the road about this stuff too. Sadly,
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what's sad is like. Me and Amelia were talking not too long ago, and I was like, dude, I was like, what should I put to this female? And mind you, I don't really ask for advice, but it's my boy. So I was like, I don't know what male to put. So I was going through the list of males. I was like, I have an inchy, yellow belly, pinstripe, double hat, clown hypo. He's like, yeah, not the pinstripe. I was like, damn, dog. Like, okay, here's the thing. Like, I get it, but I think just like Spider, right? Like, some of this shit can look cool. Like, you can maybe pull off some stuff. But it's such a risk. And so I think like just pull the stuff that has pinstripe, worst case scenario, but it is also stuff I have to worry about getting rid of and all this other shit.
Yeah,
you made a point.
Sorry.
You made a good point. No, you made a point.
I never want to sound like I'm continuously shitting on stuff. Okay, it's just I've been doing this a long time. Matt, I need your input now because you've been doing it a long time as well. I hate hatching pinstripes now because I just don't want to see lines. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I'd say most of the time I'm not super excited by hatching pinstripes. I actually have an acid pinstripe and an acid lemon blast double het female. They're both, one of them is definitely going to go. She's like 35 millimeters. So, I'm getting some, so we'll see what they look like.
Hey,
what's lemon blast again? I forget.
Pastel.
It's just pastel and pinstripe.
Oh, dude, that's not good.
Hey, Matt.
The acid might hold that pastel. It might look good with the contrast. That acid will keep those blacks black.
Hey, Matt. So what's that gene that you're like, fuck, I don't want to hit that shit, bro. Fuck.
Mine are those two right there. I'm scared of those two now.
Yeah. In some pairings it's pastel, but it's only because I know they're harder to sell. It's not because they look worse,
But at least pastels are pretty.
Yeah.
Depending.
Especially if it's in a DG Xanthic combo. They look great, Yeah, but I know them have a hard time selling a lot of that stuff sometimes. So, I don't necessarily want to hit it for that reason. But if it's going to sit in my rack and I'm going to look at it, they're good to look at. I hope that someday people kind of back off of this hate.
Hey, hold up. I gotta Rameries. I hate hearing this. Monsoon and pinstripe are nothing alike to me.
No,
One
I
is
mean,
one is all lines, and the other one is all granity, marbling.
Damn, Revery's coming in hot right now.
That's my dog. Hey, I want you to know that's my dog. But
that's my dog for sure.
I don't like hearing that. Just like I don't like Exantics browning out. It's a charcoal gray. It's a gray. It's
Hold
not
on.
brown.
Hold on. Time out, Emilio. I've seen some shitty looking Exantics at an old age, bro.
Oh my
what
god.
The hell? What's going on?
Man, that's epic right there, man.
Hey,
what do I do that?
I feel like some of that stuff that's too brown might even be mis-ID'd, bro. Sometimes.
So not Exantic. There's some other stuff in it, maybe, is what you're saying.
Bro, I see stuff on Morph Market that I'm like, bro, that shit can't be Exantic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, bro.
I bought a group of Exanthic clowns like, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. And most of them are still silvery, gray. They're darker, but they're still not brown. But there's one that's brown. They didn't all start out that way. They didn't all start out that way. But
it might have another gene in there, bro. You never know. I mean, it could have something else affecting it. So
yeah,
I do not like to hear people say, "Oh, Monsoon and Pinstripe look the same." They do not. They do not.
Throw GHI in the Pinstripes.
Yeah, that's dirty, bro.
What?
GHI pins look more like Monsoons than regular pins.
The thing, because we know Monsoon has yet to break any kind of like force yet. Like there's so much Monsoon we're about to see, and this fool just compared it to Pinstripe. Like I just
Monsoon's one of my favorite sets. They do not look alike. They don't do the same things.
It's a lot of people.
There are a lot of
people that do that, and bro, they're completely different.
Oh my god! Look,
if you combine the right genes, you can make a Pinstripe look similar to a Monsoon, but they're totally different.
Hey, Dylan, that's why I love them.
Yeah, because
that's
I love that snake.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's about holding that pattern. If you can hold that pattern, you're in a good place with Monsoon. I feel like.
Yeah.
What you want is it not to just fade into a solid color whenever it's an adult. So you just need to keep the contrast up.
Like you don't want it. You don't want it in Lemon Blast, is what you're saying.
Hey, can I say something? I think I've said this before.
Yes.
Lemon Blast is like the ugliest fucking snake ever.
It is so ugly, and it sucks because when you don't know, when you're a noob, you like it. It's an impressive snake until you see it age, and you're like, what happened to you? And then it's like, it's not well, and
then you add DG to it, and it looks amazing.
It gives it some life, and I feel like that's here. At the end of the day, you can't knock any gene in a sense, because any gene it could just flip just by being put into the right other gene. So you're right. And
someone might like it.
There are no bad genes. There's bad combos.
Right. And if you hit that right snake that is so fucking impressive, no one's gonna give a fuck what you put in it, as long as there's no wobble, of course. And it's like if it's clean looking and rare and it eats like a champ or whatever, then you're in a good place. Fuck everybody else, and that's how I stand with Pastel, even though Emilio hates it.
I don't. I have like 3 clutches of Pastel stuff this year.
I got some good line of Pastel, I feel like. And I got a good line of Fire. Mind you, you gotta be careful where you put this shit in, but I have it in DG Clown stuff and it looks great. I ain't tripping. And guess what? You think I'm selling it? No, I'm not. Fuck that. I'm not gonna participate in you fucking foolery market prices out there. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna make some cooler shit with it. It's all you gotta do. You know what I mean? And I know you've seen different waves in this game, Matt, but what did you expect so many people dropping out after COVID? Like, did you see the COVID spike like something where you're like, holy shit, we're gonna see a change after this? Like, did you see that coming?
I was hoping people would stick around, but I mean, you go through a period where everybody's got a bunch of free money and then suddenly they don't, people don't stick around, I guess, but the people that really care about the snakes and really care about the hobby are still going to be here.
That's what matters.
Yeah, I'm still going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I know you guys probably aren't going anywhere.
I'm not.
There are people that only do it for the money. And if you're only doing it for the money, maybe you won't stick around through the bad times, but I'm doing it because I love breeding ball pythons. I have plans for stuff I want to make that's going to take years, and I'm going to be here for it,
We love reptiles, period.
He's in a new group now, so he got added to a new group. Hey, at least a lot of people. A lot of people are watching this. That's all that matters. So, But listen, okay. Now I want to ask you, though, Matt, like, what people you feel like that dropped out could have maybe done different, where they would have maybe still been around. Like, what do you think the biggest mistake a lot of these people were making. Do you feel like it was the pipe dream that they were being fed, or do you just feel like bad money decisions and stuff like that? What do you think the pinnacle was?
I think it's impatience.
Yes.
I mean, if you're patient and you stick with it, eventually you're going to make your money.
Facts.
It's the people that want to make that money in 12 months. You know, they think I'm just going to buy this and this and this, and I'm going to breed these, and I'm going to make 100 of these, and then I'm going to be rich.
Timeline.
And I mean, that's not how it works. I mean, if there's a lot of free money floating around in the market, maybe it works that way for a year, but that's not how the game works. You know, careful planning, but yeah.
People don't want to fucking work.
No. Everybody wants everything right now, and they want it for no effort, and they feel entitled almost, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And they want the respect on top of everything.
Yeah, you got to put the time in. You know, that's. I mean, if you put the time in, you're gonna do all right. You know, you might not do all right for the first few years, but
eventually the work. Here's the thing, maybe not the first few years, right? But if you stand by your fucking work and you let your work do the talking for you, it catches up. At some point, you catch waves, and people are starting to pay attention to what you're actually putting out. But the thing is, you got to do it. Like, the hard thing is, and Matt, we'll get to this topic here as far as like how low key you are, and it's kind of a dangerous thing to do in a 2025 type era, right? Because like we have free marketing social media platforms out there that like it almost like, and mind you, want as many eyes as possible. You'd feel like to be looking at your stuff, especially if I had a DG Exantic clown, right? But doing that whole part of the aspect for some people could be harder than breeding rodents. It could be harder than building a fucking house. There's some people who just don't want to interact with that side, and I don't blame you, but goddamn, you have to do it nowadays. Like, I don't know how you survive unless you're Mark Bailey or fucking someone who's been doing it 40 years and got that. Okay, God bless. But dude, I mean, and I'm curious, like, are you feeling like you're about to? I mean, I'm glad you're on the show. First and foremost, this is your first podcast ever.
First like full length podcast. Yeah.
All right. Fuck yeah, you're killing it. But like, like, is this something that you're realizing? Like, all right, maybe I got to start fucking, start letting you know.
It's something I realize, is beneficial for sure. I mean, up until now, I've mostly relied on the quality of what I'm selling to kind of take care of the sales for me almost, Yeah. But, getting it in front of the right eyes is definitely important. And I definitely haven't worked very hard on the socials or, podcasts or anything like that. I kind of like to just, do my own thing, and, I'm not a great salesman. I feel like I'm a better breeder than I'm a salesman. And I think in order to do well, you kind of have to embrace both.
You have to at some point, unless you got a partner, unless you got a partnership and one's just really better at one than the other, then okay, then you have your strengths. But for the most part, you got to have both nowadays. What are you gonna say, Biggie?
If you don't try to get better every day and evolve with the times and try to not get left in the past, you got to do new things every single day. We push ourselves to do things every single day, bro. And I think that's what you're doing with being on the podcast today. But also, nice guy. You're super positive. You're funny. You got massive experience. Now everyone out there is gonna know that, bro. I think this is what we all got to do. We got to push ourselves to be better. If not, if you did everything that you could to make it this year, then you can't be mad at yourself. But if you were just chilling back there, not doing nothing, like most of these people just like crying and shit, bitching and sending all these little notes, on their fucking IG talking shit. I mean, bro, like what the fuck?
Hey, subliminal messages, bro. Some of these people express their whole life feelings in the notes, and I've been reading some of them. Like, dude, are you okay? Like, is everything okay over there? Like, you got some people on the cliff right now, man. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or
I'm the opposite. You just don't hear from me.
yeah.
Or these people that all they have to do all day, I guess they have nothing going on with their collections or where they're going with their animals. All they do is put on their notes, oh, this podcast today, this podcast tomorrow, like, bro, what's going on?
And let people be cheerleaders. We got our cheerleaders too. It's all good, bro. We need that. I get that. I understand. But we need those cheerleaders. God bless those people. Okay, come on. Yeah. Emilio, he's so tough. I love this guy, but god damn, he could be a tough ass, this guy.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Bro, what's
Yeah,
going
this-
on in your collection today?
What's up?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, for real.
What's going on? I got a lot of stuff breeding right now.
How many clutches are you shooting for in a year now, Matt? Like, what's your like happy medium where you're at in your career?
I'm hoping maybe around 60 or so this year. Definitely gonna get closer to 100 for next year, and then I honestly think I want to top out at 100. I don't think I want to go over that.
What's the biggest you've ever had?
Biggest year, probably in the 40s.
Okay, so you're
okay. I have more this year.
You're elevating.
100's a lot.
It is, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm full-time snakes at this point now, so I can actually start to expand. And instead of just loading up on a ton of babies just to do it right away, I'm just doing more holdbacks basically. I don't buy a lot of snakes every year, which is probably another reason a lot of people don't know me is because I'm not buying all their snakes. I tend to make most of my own stuff. So
that's a good point. And luckily, because I have a podcast, I don't have to buy snakes from people to be cool with. But there are other people out there where unless you spend some fucking money with them, they ain't gonna give you no time of day, man. And it is what it is. But that's how some people are. Not all of them, but you only get so far with certain breeders if you don't pony up any dough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
instead of buying other people's snakes, I feel like I kind of buy my own snakes because I have a lot more holdbacks than a lot of people do. So
that's that Will Morrow's mentality.
I sell less and I buy less, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's a more closed collection than I guess a lot of people. But
that's awesome. And honestly, to be at that level in the ball python game, that's pretty impressive that you have. Because for instance, if you're really not at that point, or if you're growing your ball python collection, you always should be adding because you're trying to literally get to the point where you have some sort of foundation that you can now sit back, hold the stuff back. But even in today's day, bro, if you have came in the last 5 years, just holding back your own holdbacks just isn't enough, even to this day. Just for most people who have been within this breeding game within the last 5 years, like you still have to go out there and buy that next potent shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, most of the stuff I'm buying is if I just don't have the gene. Or if I don't have it in any kind of reasonable combo for a project I need, to work it into. But
the saturation is the biggest killer for any new person coming in because they don't see the saturation right away and they already jump into that project. And then they find out, holy shit, like, this snake I paid for is, not even near what I thought I could sell it for because guess what? There's fucking 1,020 other ones right there on Morph Market waiting to be purchased,
Yeah.
So that's another big piece of the chessboard that people don't understand that you need to have and fucking figure out. Like, all right, dude, you're going down the path of everyone else. You better add something or do something different at this point.
Yeah, going forward, like for me, Matt, I feel like I should buy a powerful male every year.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff that I need or stuff that could really take me to the next level. A powerful male and a backup.
And a backup. You have to have that backup.
God damn.
Even if the backup's maybe like, maybe instead of a double visual, it's a single visual, with a het, but like to still be able to make the same animals, even if your odds are a little worse if you have to use your backup.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that backup being some powerful triple head or something,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like you buy two of everything. I mean, you can buy your backup, real high end, $10,000 male, $20,000 male, whatever. But you can still get a $3,000 to $5,000 male that's going to be a good backup to that male. Yeah. That isn't going to give you the same ratio of everything, but it'll still have everything in it that you need. You just might not get as much, if you have to use that male.
Because, bro, let's talk about this beyond the money, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, I want to hit the animals, bro. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait an extra year or two. I don't want to fucking wait, man. So, like, it's not even all about the money all the time, man. Because, the longer you take, the less you're going to make, right? Mm-hmm. But, damn, bro, I want to hit these animals too, bro.
Yeah.
And that's something that
you want shit you want. You're trying to make something that you would even pay for if it was made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like, an example, what I'm looking at, like, right now I don't have any monsoon, okay? I would like to eventually, do some monsoon stuff. I mean, I think a monsoon DG Xanthic is going to be crazy, right? So, what I'm working on now is trying to get females that would be good, for that project, as much DG Xanthic, with maybe 1, 2, 3 codoms, whatever I can find, produce it at least. And then maybe next year, maybe even this year, I'll look for a monsoon male that's, high end, maybe a double visual or, something like that. Maybe I can find like a DG monsoon or, DG monsoon with a codom or two, and add that male. But then I already have those females ready to go. So, I'm not just going to buy, an expensive male just because. I'm going to buy it because it fits in that project. And I've been planning for it, in advance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, that's how I do it. I try to get everything kind of lined up so that it all falls into place at the same time. And I do a lot of planning and I do a lot of things deliberately, sometimes years in advance, but I don't flip-flop on a lot of stuff. Like once I decide I'm going to do something, I do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't change my mind constantly. And going back to the people that don't succeed in this, I think a lot of those people, in addition to being impatient, are flip-flopping all the time on what they want to do because they're constantly chasing something somebody else is doing.
Yeah.
And
Or
me,
they get so deep into not wanting what they're keeping to where they're just like, how the fuck am I going to recover from this? And they say,
yeah, right.
Yeah, you got to be
smart.
smart.
I make up my mind about a project. I decide I'm going to do something, and then I just whatever I need to do to make that happen is what I do.
That's why it's so important to do what you want to do, because if you're fucking following other people, there's going to come a point where you're like, I don't even like this stuff. And you're going to have a real moment where you're like, why do I have this shit? Not only are you upset about not selling, you don't even like looking at it. And that's what sucks. I mean, regardless, I'm making shit, at least I think is I'm looking at and says, I like it's cool to me. I like it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want to keep. And I don't give a fuck what happens out there in the world. This is what I want to keep. And go ahead, me.
What I would say to that is, for me, what's guided me throughout these 20 years is that when I'm 50-50 on something, I don't get it. That's protected me. That's protected me big time. If I'm iffy, if I have to think about it too much, don't get it. If that shit is like, oh my God, I have to have that. That's when you're making a good decision and you're not chasing somebody. You're not, doing it specifically for money, let's say.
Right.
No 50-50 shit, bro.
Right. Yeah, I'm not spending money just to spend money,
And by the way, in all things in life,
period,
50-50 on it, don't fucking do it.
I agree. Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, whatever you're getting, dude, the whole resale thing that's what's going to fuck you up. If you have something that you're eventually going to have to resell because whatever, you didn't know you didn't want it, or it's at a loss already at the bat. Like you're losing right off the bat, instead of just holding on to it and saying, fuck it, let me make something cool with it because it is something that I wanted to begin with, and you're in a good place. But I don't know. It's just I feel like not a lot of people don't even know what the hell they want to make sometimes. They're stacking shit and then they get it in their racks and then they hope for the best, which if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you're trying to get in a position in the ball python game where your animals sell, well, there's fucking ways to this shit for sure. And that's why a lot of people are struggling, because the research wasn't done as much as they said it was done, first and foremost. And now they just have a bunch of stuff that they don't, it's not worth them holding on to and feeding. They don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real time. But I got to ask you, Matt, for anyone out there, like for instance, like in a time like now, if you had someone coming in that you're close to and they're wondering like, how do you know you're buying from the right person? Right. And I feel like it's a big question for a lot of new breeders. Like, how do I know I'm actually fucking spending my money with the right person? Like, how would you vet somebody in 2025 breeder wise, ball python breeder wise, like for a friend? How would you give them advice on how to look for the right person?
That's a good question. I mean, I'd probably look to see, what the person's projects are, how long they've been, in the game. I mean, I'm not saying don't buy off of new people, but, just look at what they've done in the past, look at, who they've worked with, if like, let's say if you know somebody that's already bought off of that person, check with them. Yeah, somebody that just shows that they care about what they're doing rather than, they want to make a sale. If they're being pushy, if they're just constantly posting, what they have for sale instead of, what they're trying to do in their projects. I think that's, that's something to look for, because the people that just all their posts are what they have for sale, I feel like those people probably aren't in it, for the projects, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like a lot speaks about the person when you look at their work. I first and foremost, and I don't know. I mean, there's not too many people, even though photos could be better across the board, but for the most part, when someone's posting a snake that they have, you know what they have. Like it's ID'd correctly for the most part. But holy shit, you'd be surprised. Like you should see the shit on Palm Street.
I'm looking for a proven track record, how they treat people.
Yes.
Blemishes, reputation.
Yep.
If I've heard that someone doesn't value their customer, I'm not messing with them.
Yeah.
Maintenance feeding. That's another thing.
That's a big one. Yeah. If your snakes are a year old and they're 200 or 300 grams.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think of that? Isn't that fucked up? That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
I made a mistake recently going against my judgment on a 50-50 call. Okay, which I regret. I supported a fucking maintenance feeder because the animal was fucking outstanding and it was a super. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's someone in the Northeast, and most of you probably know who it is.
Who?
Thousands of animals in the Northeast. Don't ever fucking buy an animal from those people.
Nerd.
Okay, because I have the fucking message.
Nerd.
Where they said that they maintenance feed thousands of animals.
Nerd.
Thousands of animals, and the animal was 11 months old, 130 grams.
Shame on you, Emilio.
That's a red flag right there.
Hey, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you guys, I was chasing the market, bro. Yeah, I wanted that super really bad, and I went against my gut, and it fucking cost me.
That snake turned out to be a big hee-hee, first and foremost.
A big hee-hee, and
it passed away.
And he went, and it never ate good, and it just a fucking disaster.
That's because it didn't know how to eat.
Yeah, a fucking disaster.
That thing couldn't fuck or eat.
Listen, that breeder in the Northeast, if any of you want to know who it is, message me. He's
Emilio, come on, spice it up, buddy.
A fucking disaster.
All right, I'm gonna message you right now. Hold on, and can you let me know, and then I'll say it. Hold on.
Listen, it's somebody that sells a lot of white lace shit, and then they're in the Northeast.
Are they still around? Are they still relevant? Or what are they doing?
I have the message if you guys need to see it.
See, I need to see this now, so I know who not to buy from, because I still need to pick up some more lace stuff.
I don't know if Emilio's just trying to be. I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know why he's not telling us. I mean,
I think we need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to know, bro. This is like we're like executive decision type shit right now. Like,
if I gave you a 100-gram snake that was a year old, I would want you to tell people about it.
Hey, listen, fuck it. CV Exotics, trash. I have the fucking message.
CV Exotics,
I have the fucking message. Okay.
Thank you. CV Exotics.
We have thousands of animals, and we maintenance feed. Fuck you.
Fuck, that's disgusting, bro.
All right.
Got him. CV Exotics. Oh, dude.
I have the message.
These people.
I have it.
All damn, right. Were you drinking then, or what was going on in your life? I'm just kidding. It's all good. Listen, you took a gamble, bro. At least, I'm proud of you for sharing this experience, because listen, we all learn from mistakes. Okay. And if these people are still selling shit that are maintenance to animals, that's fucked up.
And then, there's others out there that do it as well. Okay.
Right. Oh, you know what?
I'm not gonna.
This is why I feel like a hypocrite.
We don't need to do that, but there's others.
Yeah, I know. We need to switch. Now we need to switch gears, because there's people I don't want to mention. Damn,
all
bro.
Farms out there, right?
Damn. Yeah. Anyways, next topic. All right. So, what do you think of Florida keepers? Weird, right? I'm just kidding. Wait, no, serious, Matt. Where are you from? I want to know. I don't even know where you're from.
Pittsburgh.
All right. I like the Steelers, not as much as the Raiders. I'm a big Raider fan, but my mom's a big Steeler fan. But Pittsburgh, man, that's quite the weather you deal with over there. Some cold, some serious cold.
We got heat, we got cold, we got it all.
But do you have a facility for all your animals, or how's everything? Where do you keep all your stuff? I'm curious.
Yeah, I got a couple different areas I keep stuff. So I have an attached garage that I converted into a snake room, because I wanted to be able to just walk downstairs in my underwear to check on a snake, in the middle of the night to see if it's breeding. not have to go somewhere. So, I converted my attached garage for that.
Nice.
And then I have a building in the back of my property, probably 200 or 300 feet away from my house, which is where all the rodents are. So you don't have to worry about the smell.
How big is the rodent building that you have? I'm curious.
Total probably around 900 square feet. So it's not huge. But I like to think I run it efficiently.
Nice.
Yeah. But I have to run a lot of exhaust air because there's a lot of rodents in that building.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have, I think it's around 15 freedom breeder racks, rodent racks out there. And then, nice. And then I have all the feed and bedding storage attached to that building as well.
And it's kind of like, okay, I'll never forget the first day I got my freedom breeder rack, and I was like, oh my God, like the whole, like hearing it slide and the whole and I loved it, but like,
it's so smooth.
Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing with the rodent racks that they have? Because I feel like if I do get the rodents, I want to get the rodent racks from freedom breeder.
They're the best, in my opinion. They're the best quality. I know ARS makes a great rack as well. I'm just not a fan of the powder coat. I like full stainless. That's my thing. I'm not saying powder coat's bad. It's just not for me. So for me, full stainless freedom breeder. I know ARS started making some. I saw hatchling racks at Tinley that were stainless steel. Nice. From ARS, which I actually would like to take a closer look at because the tubs are actually pretty nice on those. So I'm going to look at those too. But yeah, I like the full stainless. They slide perfectly smoothly. They never look, old. Like the rack, those racks look brand new. If they weren't covered with dust and food and stuff like that, I mean, you hose them off, they look brand new, like the day you bought them. So, the watering system's great. I got the water line guards on there. So if I have anything that escapes, which typically don't, but if, just as an insurance policy, you don't have a bunch of floods and everything from chewing.
So how does that work? How does the water guard work, Matt? Can you explain that to me?
It's just, they're just steel bars that cover all the water lines so that if something does escape, it can't chew all your lines, because that soft vinyl line, I mean, it doesn't take much for a rat to chew through that. And since I'm not using buckets, I'm using an RO system that's constantly pressurized. A flood would be very catastrophic if it was in the wrong spot on a rack.
Holy shit! That's what I'm terrified of. I'm terrified of a flood, bro. I saw one happen in person once, and I was like, "Oh!" And there are all these fucking things floating, and I was like, "Oh!" And obviously most of them survived, but like it was like could have gotten really bad,
Yeah. But yeah, the people that are using buckets, I mean, it's not that bad whenever they have a flood because it's limited, right? You can only flood as much as that bucket holds, right? But I'm running constant, fresh water through an RO system, and it's piped through the entire room, and I have just drop lines that go to each rack, and it doesn't stop flowing, So if there's a flood, it's just going to cascade down and fill every single tub below it until it hits the floor, right? So I don't want to take any risks of that happening because you just don't want to walk into that situation.
And it's a lot of things new people don't realize because they think, okay, I'm on YouTube learning how to build this rack. They set everything up and they're like, wow, this looks great. But then that one escape, and you're gonna find out what that fucking flood. And I know it happens. Like there's some people who just, and I think because they don't have these guards. Like you need these guards. Like I feel like for sure, if I were to do the water line, I'm getting those water guards for sure.
Right. And I mean, it's when you look at the cost of the rack, it's not that much more.
Why not?
Maybe 5 or 10% more, if that. And
is that something
I started out.
Is that something separate that you order, or do you go to like a Home Depot?
It's an add-on. It's an add-on for the rack whenever you set it up. Whenever you're on the website, building
add that shit all day for sure.
Yeah.
Professional rodent racks are a must when you are breeding rodents. I haven't had any escapes in 2.5 years.
Yep.
If you do things right, I mean, there's no chews, there's nothing. I mean, and plus what Matt's bringing up with the lines, if something wild gets in for some reason, you're covered. Bro, professional rodent racks are the way.
With those professional racks, if something escapes, it's your fault. You did something wrong. I started out with the cement tubs like a lot of people, do. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with those. They work. But rats do chew out of those.
Yeah, to a certain
point. No matter
what
you do, no matter how well you build that rack, occasionally you're going to get a chew out,
And also, when you go Vintinley, right, or when you're away, you ain't got no worries, dog.
Yep,
none.
That's
Zero.
the biggest thing, bro. It's another thing,
bro.
Oh my
I
God.
have no worries when I leave, bro. None.
The only thing I worry about is if the power goes out, I've got to make sure the generator kicks on so that I don't have to deal with a heat situation, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In the winter, it's no problem. I mean, if the power goes out, they produce their own body heat. So that's not a big deal. It'll just, it'll take care of itself. But
yeah,
in the
when
summertime,
it's hot, that's a whole
the heat's the problem. Cold isn't a big deal at all. Heat's the problem.
It becomes a boiler room.
Summer vacations make me nervous.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah. If I'm several hours or 10 hours or whatever, we go down south, go to the beach, whatever, I'm a little nervous, when I'm gone. I'm not going to lie. I'll ask somebody to check in here and there, but, if I'm not there, all I have to do, I have the sensor push app, a lot of guys use that, to keep track of the temperature.
Yeah.
So I keep an eye on that, but, sometimes it'll lose connection or something. And you wonder if it lost connection because the power went out or because it just, needed to reconnect to the router. So,
yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's just I don't know, because there's so little, right, that could go wrong that could just wipe shit out, especially with rodents. And especially if you live in a place that has drastic temperature changes from cold to hot, like, dude, for sure, you got to be all over that shit.
Heat is the only thing that can quickly decimate your entire, colony. I mean, it takes, within minutes, your temperature can go up, 5-10 degrees. Within an hour, it could go up 15-20 degrees, depending on, your exact setup and where you're at and the temperature outside. But it could be pretty dangerous, if you lose power. So
yeah, I've heard of people, one fan going off and them losing that whole side.
Yeah. Oh my.
In minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. They need that constant, fresh, cool air.
Yeah.
If they don't get it, then there's a problem. So you have to do everything you can to make sure that they're getting that fresh air.
Dude, it got so hot in my shed last summer, bro. Like, and I ran with the whole, like, as long as I open the door and have like a fan running, I could get away with it. But if I don't open that door, it's fucking game over. And there was a time where I didn't open that door. And I lost a lot of the colonies that I had, Kenya River mice wise. And then I had dubia roaches, which dubia roaches are kind of hardy. Like, you know what I mean?
They are.
Bro, they all look like goddamn pumpkin seeds after you put them in the oven.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, holy shit. And I was like, I can never do this. I can't, unless this shit's insulated with AC. Like, it's not worth it, because just no matter how good you are at opening the door. And of course, it happened on a day I was gone. I was traveling and I just forgot to tell whoever it was, open up the thing. And sure enough, fucking boom. You know what I mean?
You got to watch leaving that door open too, because I'm not naming any names here, but I have a friend who left his door open and forgot about it overnight.
Oh boy.
And a raccoon made its way in there.
Oh shit. He probably went to town.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It was like a massacre. Oh,
absolutely everything. Tubs were pulled out. The wall, like, there was like scratch marks going through the drywall. There was water everywhere. The lines were chewed on. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was only overnight. He said it was only overnight, but like somehow the raccoon got in there and it was in there for a little while. And,
Bro, when I first started,
be careful leaving your door open is all I'm going to say.
I usually like raccoons, but I've heard some horror stories and now I heard another one. So I'm okay.
Bro, hey, when I first started back, like 3 years ago, I started breeding little bits of rodents. I had the cement tubs, and once in a while, they'd let my American pit bully out for a while, and without supervision, bro, she would pull the tubs open and fucking play with everything and kill it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a pit bull.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's how Delilah is. Yeah. Dude. Yeah, so anyways, like, that's why it's like, it's fucking a lot of crazy shit could go down with rodents, but goddamn, will it help you? Like, will you have a successful breeding season if you have your own rodents available? Because
if I had to rely on somebody else and I had a once a week delivery, I don't think I could possibly be as productive as I am out of my, facility. Just being able to have every single size of every species of rodent on hand 24 hours a day, whenever I feel like feeding, you can't, there's no way to, make up for that if you had to rely on, just like a once a week thing and you didn't have anywhere to store them even. I mean, if you had a delivery and you could store them for the whole week and you got a little extra, so you had, a little bit of everything, that could probably work out fine. But if you don't have space,
I could definitely do that. I could definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you just grab a small rack, that has enough tubs to store some extras. And that way you can get those double feedings in on some of those ones that are high priority. You don't have to feed your whole collection. And I'm not advocating for everybody to feed all their snakes twice a week. But if you have young, snakes, male or female, that you want to get up to size and they're a priority, it takes more than just a once a week feeding. So you have to try to make arrangements for that.
I couldn't believe the dates. I couldn't believe the dates of the baby to the fucking point it was breeding within 5 months.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And
I'm not claiming to be as good as Kyle Hoffman or anything, but like I can still get it. I can get a snake up to 1,000 grams, I would say in the 6 to 8 month range if I'm really, really prioritizing it. I cannot do that for the whole collection, but like if there's like 1 or 2 snakes that just got to get there and they're willing, they can get there.
Careful.
There are people that can do it faster than me, I'm sure. But you have to just check in every day and whenever they need a meal, they get a meal,
If you say Kyle Hoffman 3 times, he pops up. So just
let's bring him in. He'll tell us. He'll probably tell us he can get a mail to 1,000 grams in 4 months.
Well, that's after he says "fuck puzzle."
You're right.
I love Kyle. Kyle's fucking awesome.
All right, listen. I gotta ask you about Sunset, okay? Because that's definitely still some. Yeah. Listen. I know we're all there. Do you have it in your collection? And if not, are you planning on adding it? What's your overall thought of Sunset?
I'm not a Sunset guy.
Wow, you don't say.
I'm not saying I hate Sunset. I'm just saying it doesn't work with anything I'm currently prioritizing.
You never know, bro. Maybe Sunset Exantic's gonna be dope.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
He's gonna whiff.
I think you're working on it, right, Amelia?
Yeah, me and a few others. Yeah.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad already, dude. I really do.
Listen, I'm open-minded.
I hope. Listen, I know I dig at Sunset a lot, but I hope to God that the ball python gods are with you in the Exantic Sunset thing. I don't know, man. Like I'm worried. I'm real worried.
There's quite a few of us doing it. I said it's like 4 or 5 of us that I know of. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
So with the Sunset Exantic, I mean, Sunset has the pattern modification going, right? So you're still going to see that in the Exantic. I just wonder if you're going to have too much color still showing.
The brown? What about the brown? You don't think?
That's my only concern is that you still have, because with the Exantic you don't want the color. So Sunset's known for having a lot of that color, right? So yeah, I'm worried about too much color still showing through. If it doesn't show through, it could look pretty cool. So
let's see.
I'm not going to be the guy that goes out of his way to make it.
Hey,
but
guess what,
listen,
bro?
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Like I am not like most of the market, right? If something's ugly, I'm gonna say it's fucking ugly.
Thank God. Yeah. Even your own stuff, right?
I'm not gonna fucking put lipstick on a pig, bro. I'm not.
Yep. And if it comes out looking great, I'm gonna be the first person to say, "Damn, that looks sexy." And I don't know why I didn't do that.
But we gotta try. We gotta try.
No, you have to make it, because if you don't make it, you'll never know. Somebody's got to make it.
Time will tell.
It doesn't have to be me, but somebody has to try it. And if it looks amazing and I didn't do it, well, that's my loss, right?
Yeah.
So
what's crazy is I think the true potential will land how Sunset does in True Ghost. Because I think doesn't hypo keep the browning away? Like, doesn't hypo help?
It minimizes it a little bit.
A little, but
it'll help a little.
Could be enough, though. Could be enough. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I'm worried about the brown. I mean, I'm brown. I'm a Mexican. I'm not saying I hate brown people or anything. I'm just saying brown. I'm scared of brown snakes, bro. In a ball python, bro.
All right, Matt. I got another question for you since we haven't really brought this up. How about Monarch and Ultramont? What's up?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
I've been liking.
I don't have either one.
You what?
So I don't have either one. So I'm not team Monarch or team
Zero?
Ultramont.
Zero.
Respect.
Wow.
I can't have everything. I I like to really focus on stuff, and I don't like to have just a bunch of different stuff. So
Respect. I'm the same way.
I'm not one of those, like, I've got a little bit of everything. So I haven't fit those into any of my projects yet. So I like both in different things. I think with hypo, I probably would say the Ultramels look pretty good, but anything with like a lot of dark genes involved, I kind of like the Monarch. I think they're both good though. You know, I'm not like team one or the other. You know, I think they both have their place, and I think both are worth working with. You know, just haven't had an opportunity to really dedicate any rack space to it yet.
I mean, it's just Ultramel is just ahead of the game when it comes to both. But I gotta say, like you said, Monarch's here for the dark stuff. Ultramel's here for the bright. Like I think Gavin just posted a Ultramel Sunset. All right, shout out to you, Gavin. That's hard.
I think Ultramel Sunset's better than a Monarch Sunset. I think
probably my favorite combo in Sunset right now is I mean, I would say Sunset Hypo, but like Ultramel Sunsets. Ooh, I get it.
Yeah,
like for being a dark.
I think Sunset definitely is complemented best by stuff that's going to keep it from turning brown. So like Ultramel's probably a very solid project, and you can work other patterns into that. There's a lot you could do with it. So. But that orange is looking, it looks good. I saw it. It looks really nice. So
wrap up topic time. I'll go first, and then Big E will follow, and then hot seat questions. So here we go. I'll go. You have, I gotta say this is a flex. I'm gonna find out if you're a big flexer or not here in a minute, but I gotta tell you, this is a flex right here. Where'd it go? So Bavu, respect the guy a lot, tremendously. One of the big guys in the game. But he said he spent more money with you than you spent with him. Okay,
that's a fact.
So that's fucking pro. That's that respect. That'd be a big goal for me. Listen, ball pythons, like I don't really have ambitions to be like, but if like for instance, if Bob Vu or Justin or Miguel or somebody like Emilio wants to buy a snake from me, I would be a happy fucking camper when that day happens. That's a good feeling right there, right? But I gotta ask you, like, let's paint a scenario, okay? I buy a $20,000 snake from you. I'm just painting a scenario, right? 4 or 5 months later, I come back to you. I tell you the snake died. Okay. As a high-end market ball python breeder, what do you do about a situation like that? Like, in mind you, it could have been like not your fault, not his fault. The snake died, like impact or something. Who knows? It just died, right? What would you do in your position, like to that customer? You know what I mean? And I'm saying he's not coming to you aggressive. He's just like, dude, it died. Like, it just died. What would you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of time to pass. I mean, I guess it's a complicated situation. Were there any problems with the snake before it died? Like, was it having any issues? I mean, I would do my best to try to, like, if I had another snake that could like try to help, with that, replace that first one.
Yeah.
Depending on like the specifics, I mean, I might give them a really, crazy price on it. I might give them some credit. I might, do like, something kind of in between. If I don't think it was anything that could have been my fault, if it's anything that I think could have been my fault, or if there was anything that, had been wrong with that snake, for a little while, before it died, then I would feel more responsible for just trying to replace that snake. But yeah, I think that's a case by case basis.
A pretty steep case by case.
I can't say that I would do the same thing just across the board, no matter what, what exactly led up to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no matter what, I want to try to take care of that customer, even if it's not my fault. I just don't know exactly where the line is. I think it would be case by case. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a good example for me to ask you guys what you would do. I mean,
Big E, I want to hear what Big E says.
Hey, I feel like everything you just said kind of echoes the way I feel. I feel like that's why you've been in the business so long. You take care of your people.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, even if it's completely not my fault, I'm still going to do something for that person.
Yeah.
I
don't know where, like, the line for like a full replacement would be harder to just, say outright. It's not going to be the same in every situation. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you know, there's so many variables, right? Like, okay, like how did you keep the animal and stuff like that? And for me,
Yeah.
if it's a returning customer first and foremost, if this person has spent money with me, we're gonna figure it out. Like for sure, there's and mind you, that's if we have that relationship. If you are somebody, if you're somebody who like, holy shit, you put it in that, like, why would you do that? Or if I gave you simple directions and you went against those directions, if there's if there's any sign of neglect, okay, and whatever, man, it sucks, but dude, I don't know, like, again, I wouldn't totally tell you to fuck off, but I owe you nothing. Like, I hope you understand that I don't owe you shit, but I'm gonna help you out, like, because I feel like it's only smart. Any smart business guy would still try to patch this up, even though it's not their fault. It's only good for you. But mind you, if this is a person where they're in a trailer, or it's like you're like, holy shit, how did you get this animal? Like you don't deserve to have this animal. And there's cases of that. There's people in here who should not, like, they can't even fucking keep a plant alive. No offense, a lot of people can't keep plants alive. But I'm just saying, like, there are like cases out there where somebody should not have something living as far as their responsibility goes. Like, you know, some people can't even take care of themselves. Like, it's like, holy shit, you know?
Are they listening?
Are they listening? You know what I mean?
That's a main, you know, that's one of the main things. Are they listening? Are they trying to make the problem go away? Are they trying to remedy the issue?
Right.
You know, are they just...
And if they have good enough communication with you, if there is an issue, like, you know, let's say the animal's not eating, right? You can work with them before it ever would get to a point where that animal will die.
Yeah.
You know, if they just don't say anything.
Some people get embarrassed though. Some people get embarrassed about it and they shouldn't. But some people are like, they wait too long to hit you up, which is another. Why would you do that? Like, I would want to know the first time it wasn't eating. Like, I would want to know right away what's going on. So anyone out there who's like in that position, go tell that person right away. Like, don't be embarrassed. Like, this could be an easy fix, you know?
Yeah, like, don't wait 4 months, like you said, 4 months. Like, let's say, you know, it's not eating, you know, 4 months goes by, it withers away to nothing and dies, and then you decide, hey, let me open the line of communication up now. I mean, that's kind of their fault too, you know, because they should have said something, you know. They should have tried to seek some help and assistance, and, you know, they could have saved that animal. That animal may not have ended up dying, you know? So I think really communicating as soon as there's an issue is key. And then that way, you know, you can have that full history on what happened with that animal. But yeah, if somebody just randomly waits that long before ever saying anything, and then just, you know, I don't know, it just feels like, you know, they could have done more too. But, you know, regardless, I'd still feel like I had to try to help them somehow. But yeah.
I don't mean to piggyback on this, but let's flip the script here. Let's say somebody, you know, is doing everything as far as trying to communicate and be like, you know, hey, let the seller know, but the seller just isn't being, you know, basically don't give a fuck. You know, at what point should somebody like speak up about it, or how does somebody new handle something like that where it's like it's really them that got sold a shitty snake and they don't fucking know what to do because Joe Schmo or whatever just isn't fucking hitting him up or even replying?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I can't see myself in that situation, I guess.
Well, that's because you're still around. You know what I mean? That's
like,
I
mean, I'm not going anywhere. I've been here forever. I'm not going anywhere, right?
Yeah. No.
I mean, if I was the buyer, let's say, you know, I would at least expect that person to try and, you know, respond to me in some way and try to offer me some advice. Right. Give me a little more history on the animal, if it had any problems at their facility, maybe what it was eating there, what tub size it was in, what kind of bedding it was on. There's a lot of factors there where if an animal's well established on a certain, you know, system, maybe they would, you know, start eating again if you could provide that to them. Right. Yeah. So I would at least at bare minimum expect the seller to try to walk me through what, you know, steps I could take to try to get that animal back, you know, on food or back to, you know, health or whatever. I guess after a certain amount of time passes, I probably wouldn't feel like they owed me anything other than, you know, a little bit of support, maybe a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of credit or discount, maybe, you know, something just like as a token, you know, to try to make it a little bit better. But
a shirt or some stickers or something.
I mean, just something. I don't know. You know, a little
Give
bit
me
of
a hat.
something. I mean, I'm not going to expect them to send me another one of that same animal or anything, especially if I didn't communicate, right away, that there was a problem. But
yeah,
but I mean, I wouldn't expect anything, but anything they would do would make me feel better about it, I guess.
Yeah, but definitely speak up out there for anyone, like for sure.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
don't be embarrassed.
if there's a problem, you should just say something. I don't know,
Yeah.
Don't,
All right, Big
don't
E,
wait until it's unrecoverable, I guess,
Or don't wait until there's an episode on it. All right, what do you got, Big E?
I know how special this is because mine is around the corner. My 20-year celebration. Bro, how's it gonna feel once you get that 20 years in breeding ball pythons?
I guess pretty good. Yeah. It's coming up. It won't be too much longer.
Yeah.
Hopefully by then I'll have some more dark genes worked into the triple visual with the DG Xanthic Clown. Because right now I'm making, a lot of stuff that's either, single or double visual, with some of these dark genes in it this year. So I'll be holding those back, and right around the time that they're going to be producing, hopefully it'll be around that 20-year mark. So, hopefully I can have some really cool stuff that year.
Bro, think about the hundreds of people that have come and gone since we've been in the game.
I've known a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's really nice. I see Justin. Justin also has, I believe, 20 plus. I mean, it's nice to be in that club of people that have done this for a long time at a high level. So congratulations, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it definitely sets you apart from other people because everyone can see that you're dedicated to this specific, market, business, hobby, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's what you're passionate about, because if you're not passionate about it, you would have moved on by now.
Yeah.
So I look forward to us all hitting our 20-year mark together.
Yeah. Any
And,
plans to hit Daytona this year, bro, at all?
Every year I say I'm going to do Daytona, and every year I don't do Daytona.
Dude, do Daytona, bro. Daytona's so sick.
It is summertime.
Yeah.
I get it.
Daytona.
I know that Florida's a little bit more restrictive about things, and there's a lot more paperwork involved for Florida. So I need to look into the details for that. As far as bringing animals into Florida, I know they have a lot more rules and timeframes you have to adhere to. So I should probably start looking into that right around now.
Well, at least show up, bro, and check it out.
If I mean, I don't have to vend. I guess I could just fly down for the weekend or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of
fun.
I
mean, there's nothing stopping me from doing that. That's just what is it, like a couple $100 for the flight, and go have a good time, right?
Yeah, get it.
Yeah, I had my first Daytona last year, and it was something that took me I had so many things just keep happening to me where it took me 4 years to get there. But fuck, man, Daytona was sick as shit. What's that guy's name? Wayne, or who's that dude on the?
I think his name's Wayne.
Yeah,
that guy was a trip, man.
Yeah.
But you hear all these stories about Daytona, and when you're there, you see it, and it's like, whoa, it's like this is unique, and it's kind of like it's like going to your first Tinley, dude. Because Tinley's something else. You go to.
I love Tinley.
I love Tinley too, man. I can't wait to be there. Yeah. I'll be there in March. It's gonna be fun.
Tinley is always a good show. Every time I think I'm gonna have a bad Tinley, I still have a good Tinley.
That's cool.
I've said that so many times. What's that?
You vend every Tinley? Is that something you're always okay? Tight.
Yeah, I've been vending Tinley probably maybe 8 years.
Nice.
I think.
Fuck yeah.
I was using somebody else's table initially, just kind of using some of their space, and then might have been maybe around 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't have a lot of snakes that were Tinley worthy, in my opinion, so I didn't need a whole table. So I ended up sharing a table with my friend Hannah, and we basically, we still have the same table. It's under her name because she had a better name than Steel City Feeders. She's under Hannah's Hissy Fix, which I think Hannah's Hissy Fix is an amazing name. So we put it under her name, and but we've always been vending together ever since. So come check us out next month.
Who's your boy Scott?
My boy Scott.
Shout out to Scott.
Scott is the reason why I was motivated to do this podcast after I kept saying I'm uncomfortable and it's outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
so thank you, Scott.
He connected me and Matt a little bit more, made him a little bit more comfortable. I appreciate you, Scott.
Wait, so how come Scott hasn't been on the show, Emilio? I'm confused.
The unit fan.
Yeah, why hasn't Scott been on the show?
He's not ready yet. He said he's not ready yet.
Okay. So he
I wasn't ready yet.
He makes this dude go on.
Nah, he wants to wait.
Chat.
He wants to wait a little bit. He wants to wait a little bit.
What's going on, Scott? What do I got to do to get you on sooner than later, bro? It's kind of like buying a powerhouse mail before it's too late. Let's go. Let's get you on the show.
Yeah, you met Scott in Daytona. Cool guy.
I did?
Yeah.
Which one was he? Was he the one that came straight to my face? He's like, MJ, and
mustache.
Was that the guy who expected me to know him?
No.
Okay, that was somebody else.
No.
Somebody came up to me and started conversating me like if we've been friends for years, and I'm like, dude, who are you? What's your name?
hey, look at what I got.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I gotta go to the bathroom. But no, shout out to Scott. Thank you so much. Hey, this episode was fire, bro. Honestly, for your first podcast, very player because you came to the right place.
I had a really good time. Honestly, I was. It's outside of my comfort zone. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you did
great, bro.
I had concerns about coming on. I had a really good time, so I really appreciate you guys having me on. It was great.
Yeah.
Very smooth, bro. You don't look nervous one bit.
Well, hold on. We got hot seat questions, so relax.
It's the alcohol.
Hey, I've had
buddy Joe at Tortuga Brewery, man.
What's his name?
You guys have had him on before.
What's his name?
Joe from Tortuga. He supported US Arc and everything too. Didn't he do? He did a special promo at the Pomona show.
You're talking about JMG, Jeff. You're talking about JMG Reptiles, Jeff?
No.
Or the guy who owed that guy who actually owed. Oh, Joe. Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, all I know is I had that beer at the last Super Show and it was delicious. I think I had like 4 of them. They were fucking.
Yeah, I'm drinking the West Coast Living IPA right now. Delicious,
dude. Bomb.
I can't get it here, but he sends it to me anyway, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe.
You need to come to the West Coast. Hey, I gotta tell you, man. Emilio came and vended his first Reptile Super Show all the way from Miami to Cali, and he killed it, bro. The guy murdered it. Yeah. So might have to consider that. We'll see, bro.
Honestly, I need to add more shows. I think that's in addition to the social, media stuff.
Dude,
I mean, I really don't do a lot of shows. I do the local Pittsburgh show, which I've been doing for I don't even know how many years, a very long time. Probably since the beginning, since I started breeding. Epic. And then Tinley, I added in, a while back, and then now I'm doing Bob's show too. And I mean, really, that's all I do for shows. I did Gettysburg a handful of times. I was shocked that I didn't have better results there because it looks like a really great show. There's a lot of great vendors there. I just wasn't making a lot of sales there, so I haven't been there past couple times. Not saying I wouldn't go back. I'm just saying, personal results weren't as good. But I mean, the show looks great. But I need to branch out and do some more shows, do a little bit more traveling, I think.
Reptile Super Show is a must, man. You're gonna have a good time if you roll through.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. But guys, listen, if you're just now tapping in, you're late. It's hot seat questions, and we're going to give these hot seat questions to the homie Matt before we end this. Matt, the way this works, the quicker the better, okay? Just rapid fire. And then Emilio is going to throw this whole, one has to go, one has to stay, and really fuck up with your head. So that's going to be cool. But here we go. Hot seat questions coming in hot. And, people are blowing you up. Dude, can you give me a list of people blowing you up, by the way, after this? Can we work that out? I would love to work
it out.
All right, thank you so much. All right, here we go. Hot
it's Bob do, okay?
I can't say shit. Bob's the only one who can get away with that right now. All right, we go. Hot seat questions coming in hot. And fuck you, whoever's hitting them up right now. Here we go. Frozen Thought or live?
Live.
8 cut or no cut?
Cut.
On what day?
56 to 58.
Chondros or emeralds?
Chondros.
When we're talking ball pythons, pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal?
Post, unless the occasional they don't shed on time.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Boo in general, I guess, but I mean, you gotta have some.
Buddy. You can't do that whole on the fence thing. It's yes or no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You need some. You have to have some.
To spray a ball python or to never spray a ball python, like mist?
Yeah, occasionally.
Yay sports or boo sports?
Yay.
Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Oh, yay alcohol. Yeah.
Favorite alcohol beverage?
I like a good IPA.
Nice. I do too, man. But goddamn, you get fat quick. You gotta be careful.
Those West Coast IPAs. I mean, they're some of the best.
They're bomb. Yeah. I'm in San Diego where we had the mecca of fucking craft breweries everywhere, every corner. And a lot of them didn't make it, unfortunately, but we still have some around. All right, moving forward. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
Nice. West Coast rap or East Coast rap? If
I
you
don't
had to
listen to a
pick.
lot of rap, but I like Eminem.
Nice. All right, that's East Coast.
Yeah.
I'd say-
Eminem's kind of in the middle, right? You know?
Yeah, I would say that's what I would say more East in my eyes because West Coast.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
who
some
knows?
Tom McDonald mixed in, you know?
I don't know what you just said right now. All right. Little word association. Say the first thing to come to mind. Milk.
Cookies.
Cocoa.
Substrate.
Stuck shed.
Soak 'em.
Least favorite incomplete dominant.
Spider.
Favorite incomplete dominant.
Acid.
Instagram trolls. If you even know what those are.
I've never seen one, but
I was gonna say, I don't know. Do you know what those are, bro?
they're out there, and you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah, they're hitting you up right now. All right, listen. Here we go.
Whoever's
Coolest.
messaging me, fuck you too.
Yeah, thank you. All right, here we go. Last but not least, coolest reptile network in the world.
Oh man, I don't know. Trap Talk.
Thank you, bro. I was about to fucking. I'm just kidding. Nah, you're the man, bro. Awesome. All right, Emilio, confuse them.
All right, so I'm gonna give you two options, and you have to pick the one that you would let go. Much like drink champs, one's got to go. All right,
These are going to be hard, aren't they?
I put your feet to the fire. Okay, but
go.
you have to make a decision, right?
Put your feet to the fire.
All right. Monsoon or zebra?
Zebra.
Gotta go, right?
Yeah.
All right. This one's not easy. I mean, it's hard, but it's we'll see. You know, it just depends. Like starting today, clown or puzzle?
Starting today. Oh man, I don't know. I guess puzzle because there's less done with it. Puzzle can stay because there's less done with it so far, but
Okay.
I couldn't imagine losing clown.
Yeah. Hey, for real, man, for real. That's 100%.
Yeah.
All right, I kind of know where you're gonna go with this, given the answer you just gave MJ. But
DG Xanthic Clown stays.
No. That's coming. That's coming.
Okay.
All right. Acid or lace?
That's tough too because I like lace a lot, but I need acid, so lace can go.
All right, DG Xanthic Clown or Super Chocolate Hypo DG Clown?
They're both good, but DG Xanthic Clown's got to stay. So we'll get rid of that.
Me and you are best friends.
Yeah,
Wow,
they're
thanks.
both very good though. I would love both, you know, but I got to stick with. I got to stick
I'm
with the DG
Xanthic
Xanthic
man
Clown.
all day.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yep.
Hypo or DG?
Hypo's got to go.
Dang.
I love them both. I never.
Yeah,
I
but
made some nice hypo
DG's
stuff,
first.
but
Yeah, DG's
that
first.
DG's got to start.
Yeah. All right. This is a little different, but you love the dark jeans, so super
Okay.
blackhead combos or super chocolate combos?
I like the super blackhead combos are darker, so we're gonna go with super blackhead.
Okay. It stays.
Yeah.
I like
All
that
right.
one.
Yeah, super blackhead stays the.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
confusing. You get it? Now you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like
No, because usually the answer is supposed to be what's got to go. But
I know,
Yeah,
but
I'm mixing
at
them.
some
I
point,
apologize.
no, listen. At some point, somebody start saying what they want, and by
Yeah,
accident.
I'm mixing them up. That's my bad.
That's why
Yeah.
I kind of do why I love this part of the thing. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
fun. People get confused all the time. All right, where we at? More?
no, that's it. That's all we got.
That's it. Oh, you did it, Matt. Fuck, dude. Holy shit, buddy. Listen, we just had shy of 80 people tapped in for this episode. So what do you have to say to all the love and support you had on tonight's show, my man?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully I can meet a lot more people now. Stop over and see me. I'll be at Bob's show. I'll be at Tinley.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you're in the
can't wait.
Pittsburgh area, you already probably know me. So stop over and say hi because love bullshitting with everybody.
Respect. There you go. You get that little thumbs up from Emilio there too. Best
Where's
place.
the fireworks at, Amelia?
No shit. I
I
know.
don't
How
know.
did that happen?
Let me see.
Go like, do the balloon. Go like this. Grab a balloon.
I don't know, bro. That shit's random.
Hey, where's the best? I think it's your wife doing it, fucking with you. What's the best? What's the best place for people to follow you? Would it be Instagram, bro? What we were looking at earlier?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I have a personal Facebook, but I don't do the business Facebook. So yeah, Instagram's probably best. And then
All
I
right.
got a MORPH Market page, of course.
Well, I'll put the link to your Morph Market too. But for now, guys, do me a favor. Go down, link in description below. Click on this guy's Instagram and give him a follow. But man, it's a wrap. Give it up for the homie Matt, Steel City Feeders, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Great show, bro. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Have a good night, bro. Peace.
You too. Thanks.
Good show, man. Holy shit. Banger.
Guys,
Dude's
he's
fucking
awesome.
That's a hitter right there, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Really good episode. What were your thoughts overall on tonight?
He's amazing. Top notch. Great. You know, for being his first podcast, the guy did amazing. I want to apologize a little bit because I lost my shit today, but I'm very passionate about people doing the right thing, and I don't want people to get banged. So I feel like
I don't want people to get banged. I don't want to get banged.
I felt like
what are you talking about? Are you talking about when you talking about CV, the CV
yeah,
people?
I lost my shit. I cussed a lot. I lost my shit, and I'm not proud.
Okay.
You know, I feel bad about that.
No, don't, bro. Listen, we're human. It's okay. The thing is,
but,
I abuse it. You don't have to worry about it, bro. You're good.
But guess what? You get the authentic me. Okay,
people rather have the real you than the fucking other fucking fake bullshit that's out there. Trust me.
If I could save anyone some heartache,
God bless.
in what we do,
yes,
I'll do it, bro. You know,
yeah, me too. In a heartbeat. Fuck yeah. But I do it more because I'm on more of the toxic side. You're actually just, I get it. Like, that's why I love you, bro. You're good. Listen, don't even sweat that. This was a great episode. Guys, please do me a favor. If you're not already, go follow Villarino Reptiles on Instagram. Go subscribe to the V Unit family, especially if you're just coming into the ball python game. You need help. Trust me. All right. You're not going to do this alone. And I'm not going to say everyone's out there here trying to blindfold you, but you just got to be careful. You got to do your homework. And V Unit's a good place to do your homework on the ball python game for sure. But guys, give it up. It's a wrap for Big E, Top G, Villarino Reptiles. Ladies and gentlemen.
Bro. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, bro. Have a good night. Appreciate you. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who tapped in. That was a really good episode. I had fun. What do you guys think of the whole 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time? Like this being a permanent thing. I don't know. I'm kind of liking this because it's only 5 o'clock my time right now. That's crazy. I could do so much. But give me some feedback. If you guys like this 3 p.m., 6 o'clock Eastern time, might have to pull a switch. Who knows? But if this was your first time hanging out, do me a favor. Get the likes up, all right? Especially if you're a big fan of Matt like I am. Get the likes up. Hit the subscribe button. If you hit that notification bell, select all, you'll be reminded of every single podcast that's dropped 7 days a week here on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Yeah, that's right. I said 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. And there goes Alexa talking. Alexa, stop talking. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. And again, wherever you listen to the Trap Talk Reptile Network, I appreciate all the love and support, man. You guys are awesome. But let's see. All right. So don't forget, On the Tree Tuesday is going down tomorrow. We have Eugene Bissett, okay? If anyone's been around the hobby, okay, chondros, ball pythons, colubrids, you know who the fuck Eugene Bissett is, all right? Florida, stand up, because that's probably going to be so far one of the biggest podcasts I've ever done, is having a legend like Eugene Bissett on the show. So you guys are in for a treat. Make sure you set your reminders for that, all right? That's going down tomorrow right here, same time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, that was only because Eugene, he has to go to bed at a certain time, so dude's old. All right, it's going to go down, though. Thank you so much again. But before I let you guys go, please, you know the deal. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family-oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting-edge, front-of-the-line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, Don, over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game, then you know one of the biggest buzzes going around the hobby as far as reptile shows go is the new Southeast Reptile Expo being thrown by Bob Vu and his crew. Thank you so much, Bob, for being a part of this year's sponsor on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Very excited to collaborate with you. I'm excited to actually be heading over to Southeast Reptile Expo in February, and that's February 15th and 16th. You can catch me there, so stay by for more announcements on that. Head over to Southeast Reptile Expo on Instagram and check out Atlanta's #1 reptile show, the newest up-and-coming, most exciting show around in the reptile hobby, and who else better to throw it than Bob Vu. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Diversity when it comes to a reptile diet, I feel like is so important. So this is why I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, Blake Exotic Feeders over in Florida.
What is up, everybody? Blake here, the owner of Blake's Exotic Feeders. We have all quail available at all times, produced here at my ranch from button day old, from Coturnic day old, all the way to extra large Coturnic quail. If you guys have any questions, DM on Instagram. Appreciate the support, you guys. Make sure you guys hit me up. We have all the quail like I mentioned, and everything is shipped right here from my house.
If you want the #1 quail sent to your doorstep and more importantly fed to your reptile, no better company than to go to than Blake Exotic Feeders. #1 quality in quail, hands down, and I gotta tell you, my reptiles love it just as much. It'll give me a peace of mind to know that these quail are grown on his property and it's not bought third party. Head over to his website, Blake Exotic Animal Ranch, to place your order, or you could just hit him up directly on Instagram. Let him know that the Trap sent you and he'll take extra good care of you. Thank you so much, Blake, for supporting the Trap, and also thank you so much for sending me top quality homegrown quail for my animals.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are MORPH. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work, and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. Gee!